Hello, Mid-Michigan, and welcome back for some more Irish Championship Baseball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. And what a game we've got for you here this early afternoon. Number 1 in the state, Portland St. Pat's. Number 2 in the state, Sacred Heart Academy. The only team that has beat Portland St. Pat's this year is our Sacred Heart Academy Irish. I believe they're now 31-1 on the year. And we're going to keep you updated all day long on games. I've got a couple score updates to pass along already. Claire bested Standish Sterling earlier today, 8-1 in their regional semifinal. And this is all softball. Beale City trails Fowler 3-2 in softball action. And Shepherd is up 1-0 on Escanaba in softball action. We're going to keep you updated on everything all afternoon long on what is hopefully a long day of 2 games of baseball here. Your boy has gone out. He has got the second iPad, so if we've got to roll pretty much straight into a second game, we should be ready to go. We're going to take a break here on our Woods Household pregame show. Going to hear from our friends at ENS Graphics and Clark Modular Homes. When we come back, we're going to run down this starting lineup for your Sacred Heart Academy Irish. It's regional championship baseball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. The winner of this game plays later today back here at Tennyson Stadium in the state quarterfinal. So one team today will be advancing to the state finals in East Lansing today. 2 games separate the Irish boys from that. We'll be back, talk about it more right after this break here on our Woods Household pregame show on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
For over 4 decades, ENS Graphics has delivered confidence, trust, and peace of mind by providing their customers with expert service and using state-of-the-art technology. We all know in sports, what's on the inside counts the most. But when it comes to your business, school, organization, what's on the outside does matter. If your business needs anything printed, ENS Graphics can do it. If you want your club, team, organization to look good, ENS can help. They take your vision and make it their mission. ENS Graphics, a proud supporter of the Mid-Michigan community and their local athletes. Visit ENS Graphics at their location down in Ithaca or visit their website at esgraphics.com. ENS Graphics, printing all things physical.
Hey guys, it's Tanya from Clark Modular Homes. I'm here to talk to you today about who we are and what we do. Clark's opened in 1983 and has been centrally located right here in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. We have one of the largest display centers with around 12 to 15 homes on display all year round. We have a fully experienced staff. We also have an in-house project manager who can pull our permits and coordinate our job from start to finish. We are proud to have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We are our own contractor, making it a one-stop shop for you for your home building needs. As the owner would say, we can do it all.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to Tennyson Stadium here on the campus of Central Michigan University as we get set for regional championship baseball. Your Sacred Heart Academy Irish taking on Portland St. Pat's. This is number 1. Number 2 in the state here into the regional final. Thus said, whoever wins this game will be the favorite to win the state championship going forward. Starting lineup for your Sacred Heart Academy Irish. They will be in the field first, so we'll talk about defense. Nate Siler will be on the bump. Wyatt Brown behind the plate. At first base will be Mr. Brady Davis. At second base, Jason Bogue. At third, Ryan Wiggins. At short, the superstar Grady Pieratt. Out in left field, Luke Hacker. In center field, Noah Zion. In right field, it'll be Tegan Duffy. due up for Portland St. Pat's, the Shamrocks. It's the coach's son, Jared Shire. He plays shortstop. Charlie Thalen and Brady Leonard. You know we're coming to you from the Barbary Law Studios, built by Konwinski Construction. This is the Woods Household pregame show. More love going out. Gates Drilling and Service, a Bill's Custom Fab, the Bird All-American Grill, a Weefrich Financial, the sponsor of Jose Batchelder, baller of the game. And I've also got some updates coming from Brian Weefrich as far as boys golf is concerned. Christopher Crockett is 4 up through 9. He is -2. Behind him is Colton Lower from Bullock Creek. Right behind both of them, he has 7 shots back of the lead, is just the sophomore Bryce Weefrich out of Clare. And so a great showing in the D3 state finals for the individual boys. We will keep you updated on all of that action as well right here. We've got you covered for our 3 softball games. Clare already victorious 8-1 over Standish Sterling in their regional final game. Last afternoon, Beale City trailed early 3-2 to Fowler. Last afternoon, Shepherd was up early versus highly ranked Escanaba 1-0. You can hear a main man, Brenton Scobie from Mount Pleasant High School over the PA here at Central Michigan University. Again, starting lineup for Sacred Heart. I ran through where they'll be at defensively. Go through their batting order here one more time, and then we'll send it off during the national anthem. Grady Pieratt will be leading things off. He plays shortstop. Noah Zion is going to be hitting the second. He's going to be hitting second, pardon me. He plays center field. Ryan Wiggins will be batting third. He'll be playing third base. Jason Bogue will be batting a cleanup spot. He plays second base. Tegan Duffy plays out in right field. He'll be batting fifth. Wyatt Brown will be behind the plate playing catcher. He bats sixth. Batting seventh will be Nate Siler. He'll be on the bump. Batting eighth, playing first base, will be Brady Davis. Batting ninth, pretty much a second leadoff hitter, will be Mr. Luke Hacker for Sacred Heart Academy. Again, as I heard, main man Brenton Scobie from Mount Pleasant High School does a bunch of games for the GI Tech Center in that student station with Joe Marciano. Just does a great job heading into a senior year. If you haven't checked out that Mount Pleasant student station, do so. We'll have some links for it next year. MidMichiganSportsNetwork.com. It's time for the national anthem. Send it out to one more break. When we come back, Regional Championship Baseball, Sacred Heart, Portland St. Pat's.
Elevate your banking experience. Isabella Bank is your local banking partner. We understand the importance of personalized service, providing solutions that fit your unique needs. When you bank with us, together we can drive positive change and build stronger communities. Experience banking redefined. Make the switch today and experience banking that goes beyond. Isabella Bank. Local. Growing. Staying. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Bryant Family Farms would like to wish everyone good luck on the field and on the court. Bryant Family Farms offers maple syrup, mums, pumpkins, beef, goats, and fresh cut flowers. With you pick, bouquet arrangements, and subscription flowers. Bryant Family Farms, 3.5 miles south of the casino on South Leeton Road. Visit BryantFF.com or call 989-304-1201. All Seasons Fireworks is a big fan of all the athletes, coaches, officials, and volunteers who make high school sports happen. Make your next event bigger and brighter. Stop by All Seasons Fireworks on M20 in Mount Pleasant. Graduations, birthdays, weddings, or a big win become more memorable underneath a night sky lit up by the magic of fireworks. All Seasons Fireworks on M20 in Mount Pleasant.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Mid-Michigan Sports Network, coming to you live from our Barbary Law Studios. Nate Siler is on the bump for Sacred Heart Academy as we get ready for Regional Championship Baseball. And as I told you, we'll have you updated all day long on what's going down in the Mid-Michigan area as far as our high school sports action is concerned. Again, the Clare Lady Pioneers 8-1 earlier today over Standish Sterling. They're now 36-2 on the year. They're ranked number 1 in the state in Division III softball. The Lady Jays of Shepherd lead Escanaba 1-0. Pulling up when that game is. We're in the top of the third inning there, and so an absolute gem being pitched right now by Lila Curtis in the circle for the Shepherd girls versus highly ranked Escanaba. It was 3-2 Fowler. The Beale City Aggie ladies doing what they do. They now lead it 7-3 over Fowler. Again, we're going to update you on the softball all game long, and we've got baseball action for you right now here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network as Shire steps up to the plate facing Siler. Yep, Siler versus Shire right now. Jared Shire, coach's son, plays shortstop for Portland St. Pat's. And we are ready to go. Wyatt Brown behind the dish, exchanging a couple words with a Jared Shire. On the bump is Nate Siler. He's given up one earned run all this year. He has a .1 ERA. Yes, that's right. Not a 1.03, not this and that. He has a .1 ERA for the sophomore. First one from Siler is going to miss. Here comes pitch number 2 from the sophomore. That curveball is going to stay high. Sacred Heart has played some games here at Tennyson Stadium this year, but you know there's going to be a little bit of nerves to start this one out. That one's going to be over for a strike to Shire. 2-1 now the count. Shire working quickly, has the signal from Brown. Sends it in there. They're going to say it just brushed him. Shire with a quick run down to first base, even though he was hit by the pitch. And again, it's a tough call there if you are Siler. That was not very inside, but as the Hall of Famer Brad Ancliffe says from Beale City baseball, sometimes you just got to wear it. First pitch to Charlie Thalen. That's going to miss as well. 1-0 count. It's a little bit of nerves here from Nate Siler in the early going. And I do feel like the farther you go along in high school baseball playoffs, the tighter that strike zone will get. That one's going to miss low and inside. 2-0 now the count. Siler holds that glove right up towards his face, works the ball with his right hand behind his back, now puts it in his glove, squares up, ready to go. This one's going to be sent out towards right field. Duffy gathering underneath it to make the catch. He won't have to throw it back in quickly as Shire is kind of halfway in between first and second base. Sacred Heart Academy baseball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network, coming to you live from the Barberry Law Studios, built by Konowinski Construction. More love going out. Bryce Updegraff, Joe Wentworth, Braden Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, Martinez Lawn Care, JJ Painting, Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, Block Electric, The Diner, All Seasons Fireworks, Bryant Family Farms, Pure Plumbing, Isabella Bank, and Hanging by a Thread. Siler's going to check that runner at first base. Shire is back easily. Brady Leonard at the plate for Portland St. Pat's. They check the runner once again. Nice throw this time. Hold them on over there is Brady Davis. Stepping back in is Leonard. There's one out. Top of the first inning. No score here. Sacred Heart Academy, Portland St. Pat's. That one will be over for a strike. A couple times that I've seen Siler pitch this year, he seems to always have that first pitch strike. Very, very important for any pitcher, and in particular, high school. Now they look to get that runner going down to second base. He's going to be in there safely. It was a close play, a really nice throw from Wyatt Brown. But you see the speed there of Shires is able to take second base. And now you see why Siler was making sure he held him on there a little bit. 1-1 to count to the center fielder, Brady Leonard for Portland St. Pat's. Again, they've only lost one game all year long. However, that game was to the Irish of Sacred Heart Academy. Check swing there. He's going to go around 1-2 now the count. Again, updates from the rest of the area. Shepherd Blue Jays up 1-0 over Escanaba. Beale City up 7-3. Now 9-3 in the second inning. It's now 1-1 in the third with Shepherd and Escanaba. And again, Clare already victorious earlier today, 8-1 over Standish Sterling. They are in the regional final. Way things go, Sacred Heart has a chance to move to the state finals today, but the girls will have to play a quarterfinal game next week if they win the regional final. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Siler. It's going to be hit right up the middle for a base hit. This could score Shire from second. He's speeding in. Here comes the throw from center field. It's going to be a close play, but he's just in safely. It was a great throw from center field, but it's going to be an RBI single for Brady Leonard.
Now batting the third baseman, number 2, Logan Howe.
Big hit there from Brady Leonard to get the scoring going for Portland St. Pat's. Here comes the third baseman, the cleanup hitter, Logan Howe. He'll be batting from the right side. Portland St. Pat's out there with the black pants, the dark green and black jerseys. Sacred Heart Academy out there with the red jerseys and the green lettering. A red ball cap with the green bill. 1-0 Portland St. Pat's on the board here in the top of the first inning. Jared Shire looking like Grady Pieratt gets on via hit by pitch, steals second, comes around to score on the single from Brady Leonard. Going to be a foul tip here from Logan Howe. That'll actually be just the second earned run all year from Gator Siler there. Think about that, his second earned run all year long. Just amazing what that sophomore has been able to do on the bump this year for Sacred Heart Academy. That one's going to miss. 1-1 the count. Ken Love going out. Isabella Community Sportsplex. Berry Funeral Home. Mid-Michigan Industries. A Boomer's Lawn Care. Doozy's Ice Cream Place. Or Rick's Food Center. Almost up north. Stitches for Britches. That one's just going to miss for Siler there. He'd really like that call. But again, the farther you go along in these baseball tournaments, the tighter the strike zone does seem to get. Sophomore dealing with that a little bit right now. Here comes a 2-1 from Siler. That one's also going to miss low. A run to count to 3-1. Braden Simon, the pitcher, on deck for Portland St. Pat's. They actually had to play on Thursday, so I don't believe their number 1 is available, but similar to Sacred Heart Academy having several pitchers with under a .1 ERA, Portland St. Pat's has the same good fortune. That's going to miss high. The second walk here surrendered by Siler here in the top of the first inning. Now has runners in first and second with just one out, with Braden Simon coming to the plate.
Pitcher, number 5, Braden Simon.
Tyler Thalen on deck. Runners at first and second. Already a big moment here in this regional championship game. It's 1-0 Portland St. Pat's with the lead. 1 out. Top of the first inning. The pitcher, Braden Simon, at the plate, facing his pitching counterpart, Nate Gator Siler. Runners on first and second. Just 1 out here in the top of the first. They show bunt. Steal down third. Wiggins is playing in front of it, though, so he won't be there. So it's a double steal for Portland St. Pat's. Things starting off really good for the Shamrocks, not so much for the Irish. Braden Simon now has a chance, driving a run with a fly ball to the outfield, or we could see him try and get the bunt down again here for the suicide squeeze. Here comes the pitch. He does show bunt. It's going to be outside. 1-1 the count to Braden Simon. Slow walk back to the bump for Siler. 1-1 the count. 1 out. Bottom of the first inning. Whole lot of ones up there right now. Siler checks the runner. Pitches. Looks like it went through the bat there, but no strike call there. Seemed like he never pulled it back, but the count's now 2-1 to Braden Simon. Siler steps back to the rubber. 2-1 to count. He winds, he deals. Showing bunt again is Simon. There's a play at home. Throw is made. They're going to say he's safe. That was a really close play. Leonard is going to be in safety low. Looked like Brown might have had the tag down. But it's going to be an RBI bunt single now for Portland St. Pat's. And they now have runners at the corners. There's still just 1 out, and it's 2-0 Portland St. Pat's here in the top of the first inning. Coach Earl Hartman walking out to the bump right now. Give me a moment to update you on some more of our scores here. The Beale City Lady Aggies are up 9-4 versus Fowler. Shepherd Lady Jays still tied with Escanaba 1-1. Again, Lila Curtis pitching a gem right now for the Lady Jays. And as I told you, Claire already bested Standish Sterling earlier today. So things looking good right now for our softball teams. Again, they're playing for a regional championship in their second game today. Regional semifinal, regional championship for the girls. For the boys, this is the regional championship here. If they win this one, they play in the state quarterfinal later today. Chance to move on to the state semifinals in East Lansing late next week. Hartman out there, just giving a little bit of confidence to Siler. Stepping back to the plate is Thalen. Or stepping up to the plate for the first time is Thalen. Game started with a hit by pitch from Shire. He stole second. Then the second batter, Thalen, flew out to right field. After that, it was an RBI single from Brady Leonard. Logan Howe walked, and then it was an RBI bunt single from Braden Simon after the runners had advanced. Taking second base is Simon. Not a throw from behind the plate from Brown. They don't want to allow that runner to come in from third with the old Brad Ancliffe play, as I call it. You got the runners on the corners. You send that runner from first to second. You tell them, fall down, do whatever you got to do. If they throw it out there, just distract them enough so that run can get in from third. 1-0 the count. Here comes the pitch from Siler. It's going to be over for a strike. Showing bunt was Thalen. He couldn't catch up to it. Well, I shouldn't say catch up to it. He couldn't get the bat on the ball. 1-1 to count. Already 2-0 Portland St. Pat's here in the top of the first inning. Gator Siler, the most trouble he's dealt with all year long. Runners at second and third for St. Pat's. Thalen steps out, steps back in. He's down on the count, 0-2. Be a big time for a strikeout here. Here comes the bunt right back up the middle. Siler quickly back to Brown. He gets the tag. Big play to get the lead out at home. So on via fielder's choice is Thalen. He gets the bunt down, but it's not a good enough bunt. Here comes Simon White now to the plate. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Already 2-0 Portland St. Pat's with the lead. Umpire walks out to the hill. Drops the baseball there to Mr. Siler. Nice play there from Siler on the mound. Quickly got it back home to Wyatt Brown, who got the tag down. There was another close play at the plate earlier in this one where Portland St. Pat's, I don't want to say got the benefit of the call, but 2-0 is our score. Another update coming now, 9-4, top of the third inning. Beale City ahead of Fowler. Shepherd, Escanaba tied at 1, bottom of the third inning. A little bit of play on the field there, but nothing happening. A big shout out to Nick Katzinger for hooking me up with all of these updates to let you know what's going down with all of our local Mid-Michigan teams vying for regional championships here today on this beautiful Saturday in June. In Beale City, the boys here with a chance to move on to the state finals if they're able to get to here today. Showing bunt is Simon White. He pulls it back, but it will be called a strike. Coach Shire down the third baseline. Some quick coaching to White. Coach Shire of Portland St. Pat's, Coach Pieratt of Sacred Heart Academy actually played together here at Central Michigan University. That one's going to be high. That'll miss. 1-1 now the count. Simon digs back in. Runners at second and third. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Already 2 runs across for Portland St. Pat's in this one. Here comes the pitch from Siler. Ooh! Just going to miss. 2-1. Brown gets the signal. It's just a bit outside, he tells Siler. Siler checks the runner at third. Winds, deals. That one's going to be popped out of play. It'll run the count to 2-2. Whole lot of 2s up there. We're in the top of the first. There's already 2 runs across. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Shouts to my main man, Aid Mendel. Again, the Beale City girls up 9-4, top of the third inning against Fowler. Continue to update you on all of those games as we go. And it's now 9-6 as the Fowler bats have woken back up. Nice job by Wyatt Brown looking for the curveball, trying to get Simon White to chase. Was Siler. He left it a little short, but Brown kept it right in front of him. Pardon me. Siler gets ready for the payoff pitch here. Here comes the 3-2. It's going to be hit foul. Excellent at bat here from Simon White. Siler steps back out, steps back in, steps back to the rubber. We'll do the 3-2 once more with Simon White. Big moment in this game here. Here comes the pitch. Strike three. He's going to ring him up. He got the outside corner that time on the full count. White was headed to first base. And so we do have 2 runs, but 2 left on for Portland St. Pat's. As we head towards the bottom of the first inning, the Irish Bats are going to have to do something today against Portland St. Pat's. It's 2-0. Back with more right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Get your yard ready for spring and summer with Martinez Lawn Care. Martinez Lawn Care is scheduling spring cleanups now, along with bush and tree trimming, landscaping needs, and scheduled mowing services. Find Martinez Lawn Care on Facebook or call them at 989-317-5536. Weefridge Financial knows it can be incredibly overwhelming to navigate the world of financial planning. With trusted guidance and easy-to-understand advice, you can feel comfortable in your financial future with Weefridge Financial. Weefridge Financial assists people in all stages of life with a specialization in retirement and investment planning. Experience the power of working with an advisor dedicated to your success. Visit WeefridgeFinancial.com. Visit them in downtown Mount Pleasant. Call or text 989-953-7888. Weefridge Financial, member SIPC. Konwinski Construction offers a full range of construction services on small and large projects. Konwinski Construction is a leader in the community and are proud to support those student athletes who will be leading our community tomorrow. Konwinski Construction on Gover Parkway, Mount Pleasant.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. 2-0. Portland St. Pat's with the lead. Heading out to the hill for Portland St. Pat's is a Mr. Jared Simon. Grady Pieratt stepping up to the plate. Grady Pieratt on the year. .522 hitter with a .604 on-base percentage. And that's even higher now because you got to count their game Wednesday, where I believe he walked twice, scored a couple runs, had a sacrifice RBI. It was just a fantastic day for Grady Pieratt. It's been a fantastic year, breaking a whole bunch of his dad's records. He's going to take the first pitch, low and inside. And that is the one good thing that if you are Simon, Braden Simon for Portland St. Pat's, you got to see what that strike zone was like before you came out here. You see it's going to be a little bit tight. Missing on the first 2 pitches is Simon. Count is 2-0. Pieratt kind of just touches that one down the third baseline. It's fumbled for a moment. It's going to be a close play over at first. What a throw! What a throw from third base from Logan Howe. He fumbled it for a moment. It thought Pieratt would be able to beat it out with his speed, but then he just put some gas on that throw from third base to get the out. What a play from Howe at third. That's what happens when you play in like that. Give yourself a chance to throw out that fast base runner. All he had to do was knock it down since he wasn't deep in the dirt here at Tennyson Stadium. Remind me a whole lot of the Hoover Vacuum at Lane Gross from the last couple of years for those state championship teams from Beale City. What a play at third base from Howe. Now at the plate is Zion. He's going to line this one to the outfield for a base hit. He's going to round first, put a hold up there. And with Noah Zion on first base, he's going to be a threat to steal every single time. Ryan Wiggins now stepping up to the plate. Wiggins heading to Olivet to continue his college baseball career next year. In top of the 4th inning, Shepherd Escanaba tied at 1 in softball action. 9-6, Beale City ahead of Fowler in the top of the 3rd inning. And that Shepherd Escanaba game, what a performance so far from Lila Curtis in the circle for the Shepherd Blue Jays. Missing on the first pitch to Wiggins is Simon. Braden Simon, the righty. Decent lead over there for Zion. Kind of shimmies, doesn't go. That one's going to be on the inside part of the zone for strike 1. 1-1 now the count to Wiggins. Jason Bogue on deck. Tegan Duffy behind him. 2-0 St. Pat's with the lead here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Comes the pitch to Wiggins. That one's going to bounce in there. Really nice job behind the plate by Charlie Thalen to keep that in front of him. 2-1 now the count to Ryan Wiggins. Check the runner over at first, diving back easily. is Noah Zion. Wiggins digs back in, batting from the left side. There goes Zion. Wiggins going to send this one down the first baseline. It's just going to go foul. That'll run a count to 2-2, and Zion's going to have to trot back to first base. And Escanaba tallies another run. They're now up 2-1 in the top of the fourth inning. Again, they come into the regionals at 30-5-4. Shepherd having to deal with two of the top teams in the state in Division II with Escanaba and Gaylord today Gaylord's got to play a game first, but two top-ranked teams there, Escanaba and Gaylord. Shepherd battling with Escanaba right now. Comes a grounder towards first. Portland St. Pat's looking to turn two, but there's nobody covering first base. Smart decision by the shortstop, Jared Shire, to hold that one, but you get the lead runner on via the fielder's choice is Ryan Wiggins. Jason Bogue now stepping up to the plate. Bogue will continue his college football career next year at Alma College, play some quarterback. They're going to be very, very fortunate to have that young man down there. Steps in, batting from the right side. 2 outs here, bottom of the first inning. Portland St. Pat's got on the board at the top of the first with 2 runs. Sacred Heart trying to answer back here, but a couple nice plays in the field from St. Pat's. Got the lead runner, or got the leadoff hitter with Pieratt. Nice play from third base, and then you get the lead runner, Noah Zion, trying to go to second after Wiggins puts it into play. That's going to miss on the outside, 1-0 the count to Jason Bogue. Bogue looks down the third baseline to head coach Earl Hartman for the signal. Steps back into the box. Check the road over at first base. Back easily is Ryan Wiggins. Wiggins is a threat to steal, but he would even admit nothing like Pieratt or Zion. Here comes the 1-0. Big swing and a miss there from Bogue. 1-1 now the count. And you see the stuff here from Braden Simon, the number 2 pitcher for Portland St. Pat's. You can see why they are the top-ranked team in the state. And I asked Coach Pieratt, did you face this number 2 guy when you played him earlier this year and beat him? He says, I think we played a JV kid. I don't think anybody threw any of their top pitchers in that game as these two teams met up for the Irish Invite earlier this year. And Sacred Heart Academy bested Portland St. Pat's for the first time and only time this year, as well as getting the better of Traverse City St. Francis. Wiggins is able to take the base on that one. Portland St. Pat's not as worried about it with two outs. Duffy on deck. Bogue ahead in the count, 2-0. That's going to be on the inside part of the plate. 2-1 now the count. Taking Duffy, a couple warm-up swings in the batter's box. Need to give him a shout out. I was talking about the throw that Noah Zion had from right field to third base. It was actually Duffy. Those two resemble each other quite a bit out there in the field. That one's going to miss. 3-1 now the count. And Escanaba putting up a couple more runs. They now lead Shepherd 4-1 in the top of the fourth inning. Still 9-6 Beale City over Fowler. That one's just going to be over for a strike. 3-2 now the count. Big moment here, runner in scoring position for Beale City. Bogue at the plate with a full count. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. They trail Portland St. Pat's 2-0. Lines this one to short. Not going to be an easy play with that base runner. The throw takes the runner takes the first baseman off the bag, but he gets the tag. Another nice play over there at third base from Howe. So they don't go 3 up, 3 down, but the Aggies do leave a runner on with 1 hit. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. It's 2-0 Portland St. Pat's here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Back with more Irish Regional Championship baseball right after this.
When your team or business needs to look good, don't get left hanging. Call or stop by Hanging by a Thread in Wademan, the official embroiders for the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Hanging by a Thread, a proud supporter of local schools.
J&J Auto in Wademan is Mid-Michigan's elite automotive repair shop. J&J Auto offers complete collision repair and mechanical repair. Stop by on Wademan Road or call them today at 989-644-8908. J&J Auto, proud supporters of high school student athletes.
Value is not just a price. When you buy something for your home, it's an investment. Knowing that you're getting a great deal and service after the sale is priceless. At Woods Household, we only carry quality products for your home at competitive prices. Furniture that is attractive and durable. Comfortable mattresses that last for years. Flooring that stands up to wear and tear. These are all products that last by trusted name brands like FlexSteel, Serta, Whirlpool, and many more. So shop the Woods way.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. 2-0 is the score as we head to the top of the second inning. It's T.J. Chamberlain at the dish for Portland St. Pat's. And a big shout-out to Joe Barberry, Barberry Law Studios here checking out some Sacred Heart Academy baseball. You know, it's a big game when Joe's coming to check it out. First pitch is going to miss from Siler, 1-0 the count to Chamberlain. He's the number 8 hitter, plays right field for Portland St. Pat's. Second one's going to be over for a strike, 1-1 to count. And with this tight strike zone, if I'm one of the coaches, you want to tell these guys, you know what, maybe you'd be a little bit conservative at the plate. Here comes the second pitch from Siler. That one's got a break over for a strike, 1-2 now the count. Excellent pitch there from Nate Gator Siler. Siler's got the signal. He winds. He deals at the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Gator Siler. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Nate Fears.
Now batting the second baseman, number 27, Nathan Fears.
And you go back to that first inning, you know, there wasn't any, missed calls, bad calls, this, that, and the other going against Sacred Heart Academy. However, you did have the one hit by pitch that was a close call. You had the close play at the plate as well. It very easily could be 1-0 Portland St. Pat's as opposed to 2-0 Portland St. Pat's. First pitch to Nate Fears is going to miss, 1-0. Here comes the next pitch. Showing bunt is Fears. He pulls it back. Should try keeping it over the strike zone to get it down as it will be over for a strike, 1-1 the count. Siler has the signal, working quickly. Winds, deals. Curveball over for a strike. That bender really had Nate Fears fooled there. This will be a great time trying to zing the strike down the middle if you're Siler. It'll be tough to catch up with it. Escanaba bat starting to wake up. That one's going to miss low, run the count to 2-2. Another softball update. 6-1, Escanaba now leads Shepherd. 9-6, Beale City still up over Fowler. Again, we'll continue to update you on that action all game long. Here comes the next pitch from Siler. Ooh, that one's just going to miss. You had some folks in the crowd here for Sacred Heart that kind of thought that was strike 3. Well, he's not going to get the call. Again, the farther you get, the tighter that strike zone gets. Next pitch, that's just going to miss low. It'll be a walk.
Now batting number 3, Jared Shire.
It's going to be the third walk surrendered by Siler. Just kind of missing that one. Steps back to the rubber, looks over to third base, gets some encouragement from the senior Ryan Wiggins. Now at the plate is Jared Shire. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning and came around to score. Check that runner over at first base. Back easily is Fears. 2-0. Portland St. Pat's with the lead. There's one out here in the top of the second inning. Pitch from Siler. Be over for strike 1. Siler steps back to the rubber. Beautiful venue here at Tennyson Stadium for this regional final, state quarterfinal Saturday. Shout out to Jason McIntyre. This one's lined towards center field. Tracking back is Zion. He's able to gather underneath it and make the play right above the Flying C logo here at Central Michigan University's Tennyson Stadium. Big catch out there from Zion. Charlie Thalen now stepping to the plate. Thalen flew out to right field his last time up. Thalen playing behind the dish for Portland St. Pat's. I always talk about up the middle. Catcher, shortstop, second base, pitcher, center field. That diamond kind of up the middle. You usually got a lot of your best players or best fielders. Then after that, you have somebody over at third base. Runner is going, swing and a miss. The throw down to second base won't be in time. It was a great jump from Fears, but he goes off the bag. Tagging him out is Pieratt. That'll do it. Getting caught trying to steal is Fears. And so out trying to steal is the number 9 hitter. What a throw there from Wyatt Brown to get it down in time. And so due up for Sacred Heart Academy, it'll be Duffy, it'll be Brown, it'll be Siler. We'll keep the broadcast right here for the moment. Again, big thank you to all of our great sponsors who've made it possible for me to bring you high school sports all year long. This is game number 98 that we've broadcasted here today. Game 98 of the year. And again, that's Spockman math. It could be off by a couple. Maybe this is game 100. Maybe this is game, 96. But just what an unbelievable first year it's been. And as, Mike Greenberg says, only bigger and better things to come. Thanks to those folks like Barberry Law, Gates Drilling and Service, Bill's Custom Fab, Clark Modular Homes, Weefrich Financial, and Woods Household for making it possible for me to be here today. Also, much love going out Mount Pleasant Automotive, Brad Melly, Well Drilling and Construction, along with the friends at Bogwai, Banga, and Bradley. Gross Farms, Brad Gross Electric, Almost Up North, Stitches for Britches, Rick's Food Center, Schaefer's Bait and Sporting Goods, the Fisher Companies, Central Concrete, Central Asphalt, and Kenneth Egger, and Fisher Transportation, also in those Fisher Companies, pardon me. Also, big shout out to Kenneth Egger at DDS for making it possible for me to be here today to bring you regional championship baseball. Sacred Heart Academy trails Portland St. Pat's as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Duffy, the right fielder, stepping to the plate. He had a huge districts. Did everything you would want your right fielder, number 5 hitter do. I want to say he had 4 or 5 RBI on the day, a couple doubles. Just a fantastic game, or 2 games for Tegan Duffy. 2-0 the score. First pitch is going to be over for Simon for a strike. This is one of those games where there's going to be a few controversial strike calls as they're calling it pretty tight out there. But I'll say it again. Further you go with the baseball playoffs, the tighter that strike zone gets. That one misses low, 1-1 now the count. But if you're Simon, most games you're probably going to get that call. Not here in the regional championship. This one roped right up the middle. Not an easy play for Shire at short. He makes it, flings it over to first in time. That's the other thing that's going to start to happen when you get this far. No matter where you hit the ball, they're going to be able to make the play. Fantastic play from Shire. Wyatt Brown now stepping up to the dish, batting from the right side for Sacred Heart Academy. Fowler has the bases loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the third, down 9-6 to Beale City. Again, big shout out to Nick Katzinger from Sacred Heart Academy giving me those updates. He's looking at me like that's kind of a new one there. Big shout out to Nick Katzinger, Chad Clough of Coleman, who coached pretty much every sport there is at Coleman throughout the time they've been there. Katzinger now going to be on the coaching staff for Sacred Heart Academy football this coming year, and I know they're very happy to have him. Wyatt Brown will check a swing on that one. It's also going to miss 2-0 the count to the catcher, Wyatt Brown. Brown on the year with just a fantastic on-base percentage. A .250 hitter, but a .455 on-base percentage. Ropes this one out towards second. Fantastic communication there between first and second base. Tyler Thalen and Nate Fears. Fears kind of let Thalen know, I got it. You can go cover first base, and they're able to make the play. Just a really great job of fielding there from Portland St. Pat's. Here comes Nate Siler to the dish now. Again, Siler on the year came into this game with a .11 ERA. Yes, a .11 ERA. And on the year, he's .319 hitter, a .445 on-base percentage. Simon winds and deals. First pitch was over for a strike. Swinging and missing on that one is Siler. Really great starting performance here so far from Braden Simon going up against this really powerful Sacred Heart Academy lineup. Here comes the 0-2. Siler's going to let that one go. It's just going to miss the outside edge. Siler steps out, steps back in. Couple practice swings. Here comes the 1-2. It's going to be sent down the left field line. It's just going to go foul. That would have been big there for the Irish with 2 outs to get a runner in scoring position. And Beale City does get out of the third inning. They stay ahead 9-6. Again, we're going to keep you updated on all the softball action in the Mid-Michigan area. 1-2 the count to Siler. He's going to reach out, just kind of tap this one foul to stay alive. Count remains 1-2. Pitch number 6 of the at-bat upcoming. Simon working quickly. Winds, deals. That's going to be inside. 2-2 the count. This one's going to be sent foul once again, turning into a really nice at-bat here for Nate Siler. It's a 2-2 count, but he's fouled off 3 as well. So this will be pitch number 8 of the at-bat upcoming for Simon. For Portland St. Pat's, you already had to throw your number 1 Thursday instead of Wednesday. This one hit up the middle. Nice play at second from Fears, over in time for the out. Some really fantastic play in the field from Portland St. Pat's here in this one as they go 3 up, 3 down for Sacred Academy. We're heading to the third. It's 2-0 Portland St. Pat's on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Back with more Irish Regional Championship Baseball right after this.
Clark Modular Homes in Mount Pleasant are a one-stop shop from the buy, the build, and beyond with their fantastic service department. Stop in to see their selection and purchase options today on Pickard Road or visit them online at modularhomesbyclark.com. Clark Modular Homes, supporting Mid-Michigan youth in and out of the classroom.
Bill's Custom Fab can handle any job you need, from large-scale steel building projects to fixing your favorite stainless serving pan. Bill's Custom Fab can weld and fabricate anything. Call today at 989-772-5817 or stop by on Gover Parkway in Mount Pleasant. Good luck to all of our local athletes from Bill's Custom Fab.
The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, open every day but Sunday for lunch and dinner. Delicious pizza, the world-famous Bird Burger, handcrafted, fresh-baked subs, many apps, and much more. There's something for everyone at The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, where friends gather like family. The Bird, supporting high school sports in mid-Michigan for nearly 100 years.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. We are headed to the top of the third inning. 2-0 Portland St. Pat's with the lead over our Sacred Heart Academy Irish. Charlie Phelan due up along with Brady Leonard and Logan Howe. That due up brought to you by J&J Auto, Mount Pleasant Heating and AC, Konowinski Construction, and our friends at Mount Pleasant Automotive. Siler winds and deals. Curveball is going to be over for a strike. And that is one thing. I think as this game goes longer, Siler knows that strike zone a little bit better. I think he's only going to get stronger in this one. Here comes the next pitch. It's going to be fouled off for Portland St. Pat's. It'll get out of play as well. Actually, it's going to be caught down the third baseline by Wiggins. What a play from Ryan Wiggins to get the out in foul territory.
Now batting, number 11, Grady Leonard.
And that's the number 2 hitter there as well for Portland St. Pat's. You don't want to give Phelan another chance. Here comes Brady Leonard, who has an RBI single his first time up. Siler winds and deals, hits the low part of the strike zone that time. And as I say it, they're always going to call things a little bit tighter the further you go in the high school baseball, softball playoffs. Now that one's going to miss. 1-1 the count. And if you're a guy like Siler, you're used to just constantly hitting the zone. So when you don't get some of these calls, a little bit surprising because you got them all year. But again, the farther you go, here comes a fly ball right towards me here. I thought about making a catch there, kind of pulled back, though, here in the crowd. Count is now 1-2. Due up for Sacred Heart Academy, brought to you by our friends at Barberry Law, Bill's Custom Fab, Clark Modular Homes, and the Bird All-American Grill. Comes a high fly ball out to right field. Duffy towards the foul line. He's going to make the catch. Nice play there from Duffy. Fly out to right field. 2 up, 2 down here in the third. Here comes Logan Howe. Plays third base. He got out trying to come home in the first inning after he walked. 2-0 Portland St. Pat's with the lead over Sacred Heart Academy. Regional Championship Baseball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network, live from the Barberry Law Studios, built by Konowinski Construction. Siler winds and deals. Curveball in there for strike 1. So when Siler gets you at that first pitch strike, everything just opens up for him. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Howe is way out in front of that one, pulling the string on that one. Excellent changeup there from Mr. Siler. Shot to Jim Martinez, or J.J. Painting, Martinez Lawn Care, one of our sponsors here, and one of my big role models early in my life. Here comes the ground ball to second base. Bogue fields it in time. 3 up, 3 down for Portland St. Pat's. Both defenses are playing absolutely fantastic right now as we head to the bottom of the third inning. The Irish trail Portland St. Pat's 2-0 here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Back with more action right after this.
Weber Brothers Sawmill has been in the sawmill and logging business since 1950. Weber Brothers Sawmill by standing timber and logs all over central and northern Michigan with National Hardwood Lumber Association certification. You can be assured of a professional job, from the marking and cruising of your woods through the harvest. Weber Brothers Sawmill is a proud supporter of our local high school student athletes. Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, just like our student athletes, they bring it. If you need sand or gravel, they bring it to you with fast service and a great price. For all of your sand and gravel needs, call Central Michigan Sand and Gravel today at 989-382-7089. Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, a proud supporter of our student athletes competing for their schools. Mount Pleasant Heating and Air Conditioning has been family-owned and serving mid-Michigan since 1962. They're dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business. Mount Pleasant Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned and supports our local community. For all of your heating and air conditioning needs, call Mount Pleasant Heating and Air Conditioning at 989-772-2881.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back inside the Barberry Law Studios here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Joe Barberry right next to me yelling out some inspiration, some instruction for Mr. Brady Davis as he fouls that one off. Count 1-1 to the young man, the junior, playing first base for Sacred Heart Academy. Excellent guard for the basketball team. Him and Noah Zion, a pair of senior guards back next year. Going to have a whole lot of experience for Coach Sherlock and that Sacred Heart Academy baseball squad. He takes ball 2, steps out, steps back in. Here comes the next pitch from Braden Simon. This one's going to be fouled off the net here at the ball field. 2-2 now the count. You got Davis, then Hacker, then back to Pieratt. You would love to have a guy or 2 on for Mr. Pieratt when he comes back up. That one's going to miss. It'll run the count full, 3-2. Very patient there from Brady Davis at the plate. Davis batting from the left side, waving that bat over his back left shoulder. And he's going to take ball 4 and head to first base. It's the Irish with the leadoff runner on here. Luke Hacker heading to the plate. And I imagine we are going to see Luke Hacker with a sacrifice bunt here. But when you call it a sacrifice bunt for him, be careful because he definitely has a chance to beat it out to first base as well. Davis with a small lead, just looking to get a good jump. Hacker doesn't show bunt. He's going to take first pitch for a strike. Hacker looks back down the third baseline. Coach Hartman digs back in. Davis dances away. They're going to check him over at first. He's back easily. 2-0 Portland St. Pat's with the lead. High school baseball action from Tennyson Stadium. There goes Davis. He's going to beat it out. What a run there from Davis. He got a great jump. The pitch missed as well, too. Hacker steps out and steps back in. It wasn't a bad throw from behind the plate, but it was just a great jump out there from Brady Davis. Also a really nice slide as Thalen couldn't quite nab him out there at second. I guess they're going to call that strike 2, though, against Hacker. So now the count 0-2. As the senior all-sports star Luke Hacker digs back in, headed to Trine University next year to play football. He's going to swing at that one, but it's going to get away from the catcher. That will allow Hacker to be safe at first. Safe at third is Davis. So now here we go. Again, I don't know exactly how you rule that in the old Spockman box score. It's just going to be a single for Luke Hacker. Runners now at the corners for Grady Pieratt. Now a quick meeting on the mind here from Coach Shire. And if you are Sacred Heart Academy, you've got a lot of options here. You can do the old Brad Ancliffe where you have Luke Hacker try and take second base. If they don't make the throw, he'll be there. If they do make that throw, then you send Brady Davis in from home. Also now, got to watch out for the old hidden ball trick if you are Sacred Heart Academy. Make sure if you're first and third, if you're Hacker, if you are Davis, that first baseman, that third baseman, don't have that baseball in their hands. Seeing Beale City work that successfully a couple times throughout the years. Grady Pieratt, runners at the corners. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. Sacred Heart Academy leads Portland St. Pat's 2-0 here in the regional championship game. The Irish threatening here in the third. Runners at the corners. Their leadoff hitter at the plate. Pieratt batting from the left side. Waves the bat over his back left shoulder. He's going to take the first pitch. It's going to miss 1-0. Still nobody out. Here in the bottom of the third. Irish trail, Portland St. Pat's 2-0. Pieratt's going to smoke this one out to center field. It's going to be over the head of the center fielder. Coming in to score is Davis. Hacker coming in from third. Pieratt will hold up. He's going to go. He's going to go. It's an in-the-park home run for Grady Pieratt. And the Irish go up 3-2 in the bottom of the third. A 3-run home run for Grady Pieratt. Davis is in from third. Hacker is in from first. And Pieratt uses his speed to go all the way around. And the Irish are ahead 3-2. What a hit from Grady Pieratt. Way over the center fielder's head. Giving a good attempt at it was Brady Leonard. He almost made a Willie Mays type catch out there in deep center field, but he couldn't quite catch up to it. It is now 3-2. Sacred Heart Academy here in the bottom of the third inning. Noah Zion will take strike one. Pieratt was being held on, and I think Hartman saw the ball get away for a moment in the infield with the relay throw, and he told him, go, 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 and he was able to come in standing up for the 3-run in-the-park home run for Grady Pieratt. 1-1 the count to Zion. That one will be over for a strike. 1-2 down the count to the center fielder from Sacred Heart Academy. What a blast from Grady Pieratt. If you walked away moments ago, yep, it is now 3-2 Sacred Heart Academy. Zion takes that one 2-2 now the count. And if you're Braden Simon, everything's a little bit different for you on the bump now as you no longer have the 2-run lead. Still nobody out here in the third. Zion swinging through that one. It's going to be strike three. Great job coming back that time from Simon after he gives up the walk, the single, and the 3-run home run. Ryan Wiggins now stepping to the plate. It's 0 for 1 via fielder's choice. He just kind of waves that bat so calmly over his back left shoulder. Ropes one right up the middle. It's going to be a base hit for Ryan Wiggins. Seen a couple great plays from Nate Fears at second base for Portland St. Pat's, but he wasn't able to catch up with that one. Now that opened things up a little bit for Bogue in between first and second as they've got to hold that runner on at first base. Over that first is Tyler Thalen holding on Ryan Wiggins. Not much of a lead at all for Wiggins out there. One out, bottom of the third inning. The Irish with 3 runs across here on the 3-run in-the-park home run from Grady Pieratt moments ago. Jason Bogue will take strike one. Simon checks the runner, sees there's not much of a lead there. Winds and deals. Checking his swing, there is Bogue. It's going to miss outside, 1-1. Update, Escanaba now up 8-1 over Shepherd in the bottom of the fifth. And then the top of the fifth, Beale City still leads Fowler 9-6 in softball action. That one's going to be over for a strike. 1-2 now, the count to Jason Bogue. Bogue looks down that third baseline to Coach Hartman, steps back in. He's ready to go. Simon on the rubber, winds, deals. So one's going to be hit towards second. Fears looking to get the lead runner. He will, looking for the double play now. Safe at first base is Bogue as they look to turn the double play. So beyond via fielder's choice for Jason Bogue. Here comes Tegan Duffy to the plate. 2 outs, runner on first base for Sacred Heart Academy. Check that runner. Bogue back easily. Bogue definitely a threat to steal. The all-sports superstar for Sacred Heart Academy. Playing quarterback at Elma next year. It's great on the basketball court. Great year on the baseball field. Grounder towards third. Not an easy play for Howe, but he fields it over in time for the out. We're headed to the 4th inning. But the Irish answer back. Portland St. Pat's went up 2-0 in the top of the first. Bottom of the third, the Irish answer with 3 runs of their own. It is 3-2 Sacred Heart Academy with the lead here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. We're going to keep things right here in between this half inning as we head towards the 4th, or maybe you just hear me get a quick drink of water. Tegan Duffy goes down there. It'll be Wyatt Brown, Nate Siler, Brady Davis due up the next time around for Sacred Heart Academy. For Portland St. Pat's, due up, brought to you by our friends at GNS Mechanical, ENS Graphics, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, Weber Brothers Sawmill. It's Braden Simon, Tyler Thalen, and Simon White. And I was so excited, I didn't really give the sponsors the love I should have. They're from Grady Pieratt. Definitely our Weber Brothers Sawmill, timber of the game. Our Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, Gates Drilling and Service drill of the game there from Mr. Grady Pieratt with the 3-run in the park home run deep out to center field. It's 400 out there at the farthest markers out there at left and right center. He probably hit it dead center about 375, 380 before it bounced and rolled up. Another score update again. Top 5th inning, Beale City now up 10-6 against Fowler. So Lady Aggies looking good to move on to the regional championship game in that one. We'll have to sit around and watch Saginaw, Michigan Lutheran Seminary and Mile play before that championship game is scheduled for 4 o'clock. 3-2 our score here. Sacred Heart Academy now in front. Probably a little bit different feeling for Nate Gator Siler as he steps out of the mound with his team now in front. First pitch will be over for a strike to Braden Simon. 2 pitching counterparts going against each other here. Siler, kick of the leg, winds and deals. Nice change up there. Braden Simon way out in front of that one. Siler has 2 strikeouts through 3. And coming into today, a .1 ERA for the sophomore. This one's going to be hit towards short. Not an easy play. Tough hop, but Pieratt's able to handle it over to first in time for the out. Tell you what, both defenses in this one are playing absolutely great. 0 errors up on the board there, and I expect it to stay that way. Tyler Thalen now stepping to the plate for Portland St. Pat's. He reached via fielder's choice his first time up. First pitch is going to be over for a strike for Siler. Siler really seems to have things working now. Again, probably pitching with a bunch more confidence now that he has the 3-2 lead. That one's on the inside corner. Strike 2. And you'd love to get a 1, 2, 3 inning here if you're the Irish. Come out with the lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here comes the 0-2. It's going to be grounded towards first. Davis able to field it cleanly to first in time for the out. So you go back to the 2nd inning. Since then, it's been 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. Now 2 up, 2 down. Here comes Simon White to the plate. Siler winds the deals with the first pitch of the at-bat, looking for that first pitch strike once again. He's going to miss that time. Simon White plays left field for St. Pat's. That one's going to bounce up there. Nice job by Wyatt Brown keeping it in front of him. And if there's a time to let it go, it's there. Again, every time I talk great catching, I'm always going to bring up Jake Gauthier is here checking out the Irish today. wearing his back-to-back state champion shirt. Just missing in the low part of the zone there is Siler, counting now 3-0 to Simon White. I imagine he's taken all the way here. And that's actually going to miss high, so it's a 4-pitch walk there for Simon White. That'll bring up T.J. Chamberlain, who struck out his first time up. In Maple City, Glen Lake, a winner earlier today, 1-0 over Muskegon Catholic Central. So the winner of this game will play Maple City, Glen Lake. That game is scheduled for a 3 o'clock start. Siler winds and deals. That's going to be over. There's that first pitch strike, which I feel like is just so important. 3-2 the score. Sacred Heart Academy with the lead. See the scoreboard there. 2 in the first for St. Pat's and nothing since then. Liner up the middle. Not an easy play. Goes to second. Eats up Bogue a little bit. He's not able to make the throw. So that will be our first error of the game. But again, Spockman's going to rule that one a single here because that one went off of the pitcher's glove there. Not an easy play. Here comes Nate Fears to the plate. Big moment here. Runners at first and second. There's 2 outs. Number 9 hitter at the plate. Here's Siler. You got to go after him here. You do not want Jared Shire to come up with what would be the bases loaded. If Fears gets a big hit here, that wouldn't be the case. Fears shows bunt. First pitch is over for a strike. Great location there from Siler, especially with Fears trying to drop the bunt. Siler winds and deals. Here comes the ground ball. Siler charges in to field it. He'll get it over in time for out 3. And so the bunt doesn't work. It's going to be a ground out to the pitcher in my box score. And they leave 2 runners on there. And so Sacred Heart Academy is now starting to look like the team to beat as they lead it 3-2. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th inning here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. We'll be back with more after this. We got another update coming from Beale City as well. Sacred Heart Academy 3-2, leading it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Back with more right after this.
Hey, Rowan, want to toss the ball around?
No, thanks.
A quick game of chess?
Maybe later.
Want me to teach you to ride a bike?
Papa, we did all that when I was little.
I guess you're right. Marbury Law's kept me so busy, time has just flown by.
There is one thing, though. You got any cookies?
Thought you'd never ask.
Joe Wentworth with Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates is a proud supporter of our local high school student athletes, working hard and showing pride for our community. For all of your real estate needs, go with Joe. Joe Wentworth with Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, 989-817-1291.
Block Electric Company is a proud supporter of local schools and high school student athletes, learning skills in and out of the classroom to lead our communities tomorrow. Good luck to all student athletes from Block Electric, and go Aggies! Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Shout out to Heather and the crew at Block Electric. Beale City update. The Aggies lead Fowler 10-6 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th inning, 10-6. Beale City leads Fowler. Here the score is 3-2 as Wyatt Brown just barely gets out of the way of that one. Probably want him to wear that one here now in the regional playoffs. 1-0 the count. Brown steps back out. He grounded out to second base his first time up. That one actually is going to plunk him in the back. That's why you wear that first one. Didn't have as much heat on it there. But nonetheless, it's a leadoff runner for Sacred Heart Academy. We're now going to have a pinch runner coming in for the Irish. It'll be Jackson Verliger coming in to run for Mr. Wyatt Brown. 3-2 Irish with the lead. They now have the leadoff runner on here in the bottom of the 4th inning with Gator Siler stepping to the plate. Brady Davis on deck. Luke Hackert behind him. Siler's first time up, he grounded out to second base to end the 2nd inning. Davis and Hacker have both already scored a run last inning in the 3rd. Siler digs in. Simon winds, deals. It's going to be on the inside corner for strike one to Gator Siler.
For Sacred Heart, number 19, Jackson Berliger.
And if you're Gator Siler, all you're thinking with that kind of pitch is just give me that strike the next time I'm out there. This one's going to be hit towards short. Chance for a double play for Shire. They get one at second. Over, not in time for first as the first baseman had to come off the bag. It'll be a fielder's choice there for Siler, but a key opportunity there for a double play for Portland St. Pat's. They've had 3 opportunities now to turn the double play. They haven't been able to complete one. Not an easy thing to do in high school baseball. Here comes Brady Davis, who led off the last inning with a walk and a stolen base to get things going for the Irish. 3-2, Sacred Heart Academy leads it. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning with Portland St. Pat's. Regional championship action. Whoever wins this game will be moving on to the state quarterfinal later today. Couple practice swings for Brady Davis. He steps back in. Again, he walked and scored a run last inning. One out here and Hacker on deck. You could try and move him over and have Hacker drive in that run. Davis digs in. He's going to hit this one right to short. What a play from Shire. He makes the catch. Then over for the double play. It's a 6-3 double play. Oh, my goodness. And you talk about the Bills Custom Fab fabrication of the game. If it wasn't for the 3-run home run from Mr. Grady Pieratt, that would be it right there. We'll keep things right here as we head to the 5th inning. 3-2, Sacred Heart Academy with the lead. It's been a whole bunch of zeros on the board. 2 in the first for St. Pat's, 3 in the third for the Irish. That is it. Just 3 hits on the board for the Irish. Just 1 hit on the board for Portland St. Pat's. Just 1 error out there that went against Bogue in that last half inning, but didn't end up mattering because nobody came across. Start thinking about that Weber Brothers Sawmill Timber of the game, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, Gates Drilling and Service Drill of the game. Grady Pieratt so far has got that along with the Bills Custom Fab fabrication of the game with his 3 RBI his 3-run home run. Just seems weird to call it a 3-run home run when it's an in the park home run. So I won't say a 3-run bomb. 3-run in the park home run for Mr. Pieratt. 10-6, 2 outs. Fowler has the bases loaded, and the Irish get out of it again with a strikeout from Lauren Gross in the circle. 10-6, heading to the 6th inning. Beale City leads Fowler. In the 6th inning, it's 8-1, Escanaba over Shepherd. That's softball action, regional semifinal action. We got the regional championship here for you. 3-2, Sacred Heart Academy with the lead. Nate Gator Siler back onto the mound for the Irish. Big-time double play, though, to end that inning for Portland St. Pat's. We'll see if that gives them some momentum here as we're at the top of the order with Jared Shire. First pitch is going to miss, 1-0. Shire's technically 0 for 1 on the day. He led off the game being hit by a pitch, ended up coming around to score. And in the 2nd inning, he flew out to center field. That one's going to be over for a strike. 1-1 now the count to Shire. Siler winds and deals. High fly ball down third baseline. Wiggins gives chase, but it'll be out of play into the dugout here at Tennyson Stadium. 1-2 the count. 2 up next half inning for Sacred Heart. Brought to you by our friends Clark Modular Homes, Woods Household Appliance, and J&J Auto. It's Hacker, Pieratt, Zion, 9-1-2. Siler taking his time on the mound. Shire batting from the left side. This one's going to be hit towards second base, in between first and second. Great piece of hitting there from Jared Shire for the single. You don't always got to hit it hard. Sometimes you just got to hit it where they are not. That's what Shire was able to do that time. Big time play right there. Shire, the leadoff hitter. The leadoff run is on here in the top of the 5th inning for St. Pat's as they look to tie this game. Siler does have a great move over to first base. Brady Davis holding the runner Shire on, who's got a lot of speed. First pitch is just going to miss, 1-0. And Brown kind of slapping that glove a little bit. He wants that strike call in that part of the zone. Shire leads away from first. Here comes the pitch. That one will be over. The count now 1-1. Siler checks that runner. Throws it back over. Diving back easily is Shire. So when your dad's the third base coach, the last thing you want to do is get thrown out at first and have to run all the way across the diamond back by your pops. Siler checks, winds, deals. This one's going to be roped out to left center. It's going to be down for extra bases. Shire's rounding second. He's rounding third. He's going to score easily. Here comes the relay throw into Pieratt. He's going to try and get the throw in time to third. It's not going to be there. Gets away from Wiggins, but they will hold that runner on. It's an RBI triple from Charlie Thalen. Coming all the way around to score. His second run of the game is Jared Shire. And still nobody out here. We are back tied. Leonard heading to the plate here. The long fly ball, he can tie this game. If you're Gator Siler, if there's ever a time for a strikeout, it's right now. We're back to the top of the order here in the fifth inning for Portland St. Pat's. Shire got on via single. Then it was an RBI triple from Charlie Thalen. Now have the Brady Leonard up to the plate. The number 3 hitter plays center field for Portland St. Pat's. 3-3. We are now tied after that RBI triple. Number 3 hitter at the plate with that runner at third base. Playing in at third is Wiggins. Playing in at first is Davis. First pitch is going to be over for a strike for Siler. Sophomore, back to the rubber. Holds that glove right over his face. Works the ball in his right hand to get it in the correct position. Here comes the 0-1. Just going to miss low and away. Leonard wanted to chase. He held up on it. Leonard's 1 for 2 on the day. He had an RBI single back in the first inning. He came around to score. Siler checks the runner. Winds and deals with the 1-1. Hit towards third. Wiggins checks that runner. Now goes to first in time for the out. Great job holding that runner on by Ryan Wiggins. That little bit of hesitation right there made Thalen stay at third. Now 1 out here in the bottom or top of the fifth inning. We're tied at 3 apiece. Sacred Heart Academy, Portland St. Pat's. The number 1 team in the state, St. Pat's. The number 2 team in the state, Sacred Heart Academy. What else would you expect here in the regional final as these two great teams battle it out? This one's going to be a high pop-up. Brown looks to make the play behind the plate. And he does! It pops out of his glove, and then he brings it back in. What a play from behind the plate for Mr. Wyatt Brown. If you think it's easy to make a play if you're a catcher, try putting all that gear on and just running anywhere. What a catch from Wyatt Brown. Here comes Braden Simon to the plate. We're tied at 3, top of the fifth inning. Runner at third base for Portland St. Pat's. The Irish look to strand him there. Curveball over for a strike to Simon. Simon had an RBI bunt single his first time up and grounded out to shortstop his second time up. He's 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI. Curveball is just going to miss outside that time. 1-1 the count. Runner at third base. 2 outs. 1-1 the count to Braden Simon. Siler winds and deals. This one's going to be foul back. 1-2. Big moment here in this one. The go-ahead run 90 feet away for Portland St. Pat's. Gator Siler looking to keep this game tied at 3. Here comes the 1-2. Strike 3! Big time pitch there from Gator Siler as he mows down Simon. We are tied at 3 heading to the bottom of the fifth inning with 9, 1, and 2 due up for the Irish. What a ball game this has been here, heading to the bottom of the fifth inning. But I'll say it again, what else would you expect with number one, number two in the state with these two teams? Whoever wins this game will be a big favorite to go a long way. Thanks some more of our great sponsors here today. You know we're coming to you live from the Barbary Law Studios, built by Konwinski Construction. Andy Tyson from Konwinski Construction, Joe Barbary from Barbary Law, both here taking on this game. And as you look at the stands, there's nothing wrong with how many people Portland St. Pat's has here. They've got a nice contingent here. But I tell you what, the Sacred Heart half of the stadium here at Tennyson Stadium is jam-packed here, rooting on the Sacred Heart Academy Irish boys, who won their first district championship since 2016 last Saturday, won a regional semifinal game on Wednesday over Merrill, and now we're tied at 3 apiece, heading to the bottom of the fifth inning. Portland St. Pat's, Sacred Heart Academy, number one, number two in the state. Portland St. Pat's only loss this year is to Sacred Heart Academy. That was 10-5 at the Irish Invitational a few weeks ago. But I don't think either one of those teams threw their number one, number two pitchers in that one. Here comes Luke Hacker to the plate. The senior is 1 for 1 on the day with a single and a run scored. After Brady Davis walked, he came up in the third, got on, helped Davis move up to third base before they were both drove in by Grady Pieratt. Hacker hacking at that first pitch. He's going to swing through the high strike, 0-1, pardon me. Simon working quickly. Here comes the 0-1. Hit up the middle. Not an easy play at second base. Fears gathers it over in time for the out. What a fantastic play from Nate Fears. Those are the type of plays that in a lot of regular season games, those turn into a hit if you are Luke Hacker, but that's not the case. Here comes Grady Pieratt. On the day, Pieratt is 1 for 2. He grounded out to third base to lead off the game, and then back in the third, he came up with 2 runners on, nobody out, and a 3-run in the park home run. He's going to take the first pitch of the at-bat here. It's going to be over for a strike. And Grady Pieratt, the all-time stolen base leader for Sacred Heart Academy. You get him on, he scores a good majority of the time. 3-3 our score here. He's going to take that one outside, 1-1 the count. To Grady Pieratt, the senior superstar for Sacred Heart Academy, winner of the Barbary Cup from Barbary Law Firm. This one's going to be roped in between first and second for a base hit. We're tied at 3. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. The speedy Grady Pieratt is on first base. Zion steps up. Zion singled his first time up. Got out via fielder's choice and struck out his last time up. It's 1 for 2 on the day. The junior right fielder steps up to the dish. Looks down the third baseline to get the signal from Coach Hartman. We're tied at 3 here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Going is Pieratt. He's there. No, they're going to say he's out. Ooh. That is a tough call going against Grady Pieratt. That would be the 4th time he's ever been thrown out in his career. The all-time stolen base leader from Sacred Heart Academy gets nabbed trying to steal on a really close call that if you're a Sacred Heart Academy fans, you're not a big fan of. Zion steps back in, the count 1-0, but a much different situation with nobody on base. That's going to be over for a strike, 1-1. We are tied at 3 in the bottom of the fifth inning. Nobody on for Sacred Heart. 1-1 the count to Noah Zion. Zion swings through the high strike that time. Count now 1-2. Here comes the pitch from Simon. It's going to be hit up the middle towards Fierce. He's able to field it cleanly over in time for the out. Pieratt gets on, tried stealing second. Again, a very close play there. But we're headed to the top of the sixth inning with the number 1, number 2 team in the state. And we are tied at 3 apiece here in regional championship action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. We'll be back with more right after this.
The Diner, where homemade favorites come to life every day for breakfast and lunch. From fluffy pancakes to savory sandwiches, The Diner has your cravings covered. Discover the perfect blend of comfort food and camaraderie at The Diner. Join them every Friday night till 7 for their famous fish fry. The Diner on North Mission, Mount Pleasant.
Jenna Gates
and Kyle Gates here. We are the fifth generation with Gates Drilling and Service.
We've been serving our friends and neighbors in Michigan since 1893.
We have the latest and greatest well drilling technology, allowing us to put in wells where others can't.
Lake lots and tight spaces are no problem.
From our family to yours, thank you, and call at 989-772-7841 for all your well drilling and service needs.
Gates Drilling and Service, where Gates goes, water flows.
Bryce up the graph with Brady Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates. Thanks to coaches and officials who put in the time to help student athletes achieve their dreams and goals. For all of your real estate needs, the Bryce is right with Bryce up the graph. With Brady Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates. 989-620-6595.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Gator Siler back out onto the mound for the sixth inning. He's at pitch number 83 is what I was just told by Mr. Joe Barberry. He's going to get the first call, strike to Tyler Thalen. Chris Bachman here with you, Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Top of the sixth inning. Here comes a grounder towards short. Again, not an easy play for Pieratt. He's got a long throw. It's in time for the out. What a play from Pieratt. A nice stretch over there at first base from Brady Davis as well. Here comes Simon White to the plate. You now start to think about extra innings at this point as we are tied at 3 apiece. And both of these teams have got pitchers that they want to save for game number 2. But if you go to extras, it's going to be all hands on deck. Siler's going to miss with the first one to Simon White. White technically 0 for 1 on the day. He's got a walk and a strikeout. He walked back in the 4th inning. He was stranded there. 1-1 now the count. TJ Chamberlain on deck, who's 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a single. Siler deals. That one in there for a strike. 1-2 now the count. Siler working quickly. Jumping out of the box now for a moment is Simon White. This one's going to be roped out towards center field. It's going to be down for a base hit, the bloop single. Big time hit there from Simon White.
Number 18, TJ Chamberlain.
And you get the feeling, though, if you are Portland St. Pat's, this might be your final opportunity here. We're going to have a pinch runner coming in for Simon White. Say, what? White is the left fielder. You don't usually see pinch runners for left fielders, so I'm expecting a steal here from Portland St. Pat's. Wyatt Brown's got to be ready from behind the plate. It's TJ Chamberlain at the dish. There's one out. Top of the 6th inning. Runner on first base for Portland St. Pat's as Nate Gator Siler heads back to the bump here at Tennyson Stadium. Top 7 softball action. Beale City leads at 10-6. It's also top 7, 9-1. Escanaba over Shepherd. First pitch to Chamberlain's going to miss, 1-0. Portland St. Pat's, not a big lead over there. That one's right down the middle for a strike to Chamberlain. Chamberlain looked like he was taking all the way on that one. Both teams have 4 hits. Both teams have 3 runs. Showing bunt this time. They're going to try and get that runner out to second. The throw is in time, and it got him! What a throw from Wyatt Brown! Out trying to take second base is Simon White's pinch runner. And that's the second half inning in a row where we've had a runner thrown out at second base. Thalen with the throw for St. Pat's. Brown with the throw for the Irish. There is now 2 down, and it's 2-1. This one's going to be hit out towards first base and right field. Tracking it is Duffy. He'll make the catch near foul territory. What a game we have here. We are tied 3 apiece, heading to the bottom of the 6th inning. Due up for the Irish. It is 3, 4, 5. Wiggins, Bogue, Duffy. Brought to you by our friends at Konwinski Construction, Weber Brothers Sawmill, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, along with E&S Graphics. And if the Irish win this game, we will have game number 2 for you. Say we'll shut down our broadcast for just a moment, start a new one with a new iPad, make sure we got enough battery power good to go here. And we're at Tennyson Stadium, CMU's campus, for the action here today. And pardon me as I move the scoreboard there, I'm checking out the heat on the cameras. I try and keep as many things covered from the sun as I can. If you saw me right now, I've got my iPad booklets kind of laid out over everything to try and keep the heat from getting to the roadcaster, getting to the A10 stream live, and getting to the computer as well. But going in the press box here at Tennyson Stadium, they've only got the windows that open up top, and for this guy, that ain't good enough. I want to be out here in the crowd. My friends, Kyle Schaefer standing behind me here watching the game, Andy Latham, my buddy Joe Barbary over here to the left. That's what it's all about, being out here in the action. I absolutely love it. We're tied at 3 apiece, bottom of the 6th inning. It's Ryan Wiggins, it's Jason Bogue, it's Tegan Duffy, due up, brought to you by Pier Plumbing, Joe Wentworth and Bryce Updegraff, Brady Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, Hanging by a Thread, Isabella Bank, Pier Plumbing, Bryant Family Farms, All Seasons Fireworks, The Diner, Block Electric, Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, along with Martinez Lawn Care and JJ Painting. Here we go, bottom of the 6th inning. This game really starting to get down to the nitty-gritty, as I say. Wiggins is going to take the first pitch. It's going to miss for ball 1. Wiggins ahead 1-0. He's going to smoke this one, but what a play at first base! Oh, my goodness! Reaching up and snagging that one web gem style was Tyler Thalen. Holy moly! What a play from Thalen. You think about the Bills' custom fabrication of the game. That would have been extra bases leading off the inning there for Wiggins, but it's robbed. It's nabbed at first base. Oh, man, what a play from Thalen. That thing was smoked. All he could do was reach out the glove. It was hit so hard, it almost turned him around. Bo's going to just send a dribbler out towards third. It's not going to be an easy play for Howe. He's able to make it in time. So 2 up, 2 down. But, oh, man, I go back to that Wiggins liner. What a play at first base from Thalen. Duffy now steps in. Nobody on. 2 outs here. Bottom of the 6th inning. On the year, Duffy is a .422 hitter with a .500 on-base percentage. He's got 7 extra base hits. You'd love for him to come up with one now. First 2 are going to miss to Duffy. And see, you want that extra base hit. Walk will also work as well for the speedy Duffy. Wyatt Brown on deck. 1 for 2 on the day. This one's popped down the first baseline. Thalen giving chase. He's already made 1 great play. This one will be foul into the dugout here at Tennyson Stadium. 2-1 now, the count to Duffy. Brown has his catching gear on in the batting circle, hoping he gets to take it off and get a swing here. That one's going to miss high. 3-1 now, the count. That one's going to be inside. It'll be a 2-out walk for Mr. Tegan Duffy. Wyatt Brown to the plate. A gapper here from Wyatt Brown could score Duffy from first. And Braden Simon, this will be pitch number 75 upcoming for the Portland St. Pat's pitcher. Quick check of the runner over there at first base. Duffy's back easily. Feel like anytime a pitcher walks a batter, they always throw it over to first base to try and pick him off. Brown at the plate. Takes the first pitch strike. Excellent location, low in the zone there from Simon. We are tied at 3 here in the regional championship. Bottom of the 6th inning. The Irish at the plate. Runner on first and 2 outs. Wyatt Brown at the plate. He'll take ball 1. 1-1 now the count to the senior catcher. Wyatt waves that bat over the back right shoulder. They check the runner at first. Duffy's back easily. I think score, time, situation. The last thing Duffy's going to do is get caught trying to steal here. Here comes the 1-1 from Simon. It's going to be on the outside corner. It's the bottom of the 6th inning. It's the regional championship game. It's the number 1, number 2 team in the state. We are tied at 3 with 2 outs. The Irish, the runner at first base. Brown down the count 1-2. That one's going to miss on the outside corner. 2-2 now the count. Very similar location as the last pitch. That one just missing the outside part of the zone for Braden Simon. Whole lot of 2s up there. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Fowler's got bases loaded. Bottom of the 7th inning. Down 4 against Beale City, but they've left them loaded a whole bunch. So we've got some great action with Kyle Sandel down in Vesterberg as well with the Lady Aggies. And again, a big shout to Nick Katzinger keeping me updated on everything. Here comes the 3-2. It's going to be fouled off. Wyatt Brown is going to have pitch number 7 of the at-bat upcoming here. Nate Siler's on deck. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Runner at first base. We are tied in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brown's going to take ball. No, they're going to call it strike 3. Brown is not happy about the call as he was halfway down the first baseline. But that will take us to inning number 7, and we are tied 3 apiece for St. Pat's. 2 in the first, 1 in the 5th. For the Irish, just 3 runs in that 3rd inning behind the 3-run in the park home run from Grady Pieratt. We will keep our broadcast right here for the moment and thank some more of our great sponsors. Bird All-American Grill, sponsor of our post-game show. The only place you'll ever find this guy post-gaming is the Bird All-American Grill in downtown Mount Pleasant. And now 2 outs. Oh, no, it's now 10-8 with runners on first and second, first and third for Beale City and Fowler. So Fowler threatening here to tie this game or possibly walk off this game versus Beale City. Bottom of the 7th inning. Again, big shout to Nick Katzinger. He's got the game changer up here so we can keep you updated on everything. And Escanaba looking like they're going to win things against Shepherd as they're up 9-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Again, Lila Curtis battling in that game for the Lady Jays for the first few innings, holding down Escanaba. And we do have a pitching change. Brady Davis coming into the game right now for Sacred Heart Academy. A big-time move here for the Irish. Yeah, I just look around me. It's just really cool to see all the folks. Said Aiden Halliday, you got Kyle Schaefer here. Connor Stempke behind me as well. Andy Latham, Nick Katzinger, my buddy Jim Martinez, Joe Barberry. There's so many people here checking out Sacred Heart Academy baseball. This is what high school sports is all about. The community coming together to support a group of young men, young women, and the Irish. 3-3. Heading to the 7th inning, facing Portland St. Pat's. Big moment here for Mr. Brady Davis as he comes into the game. Brady Davis and Nate Siler. Unbelievable what the two have done this year combined. And that is the one thing that happens. Taking Siler out of this game now, you could have him back in later if need be, just for a few pitches as you get to throw 105 on the day. And the youngster's probably at 88, 89, 90 or so. But Davis now on the bump. That means in the second game, you could see Bogue, you could see Pieratt, you could see Zion. You could see Wiggins. That's a good thing if you're the Sacred Heart Academy team. You got so many arms to go to. You're not afraid to bring Davis in here in this first game to try and shut things down here. It's Nate Fears leading off the top of the 7th inning for Portland St. Pat's. We are tied at 3 apiece here in the regional championship game. The number 1, the number 2 team in the state. The lefty Davis now on the bump for Sacred Heart. Playing in at first base, ready for the bunt is Wiggins. First pitch is going to be over for a strike. And another run comes across for Fowler. Still just one out. And again, the Aggie Bats might not have a chance to answer back because that's the bottom of the seventh. Fears looks to butt. It's going to go foul. The count 0-2 now to Jared Shire. Or pardon me. It's Fears at the plate, not Shire. Fears is up next, or Shire's up next. You don't want Shire up with Fears on base. And we're now tied 10 apiece with Fowler and Beale City. Still just one out. Here the game is on the line as well. We're tied at 3 in the top of the seventh inning. At the plate is Fears. Davis gets strike 3. A 3-pitch strikeout there for Brady Davis. Again, we will probably see him start the second game. The Irish are fortunate enough to win this one, but right now, everything is on the line here in the regional championship game. Here comes Jared Shire to the plate. And the other good news, if you're one of these teams, Maple City Glen Lake, I believe, threw their number one, their lefty in the first game. Davis winds and deals lefty versus lefty here with Shire at the dish. First pitch is going to be over for a strike from Brady Davis. Davis steps back to the rubber. Holds the ball in his left hand behind his back as the lefty gets ready for the 0-1. That's going to just miss. 1-1. You hear the nice pitch coming from a lot of the Sacred Heart faithful as it looked good, just missing the strike zone there. Davis now ready with the 1-1. Shire at the dish. That'll be over for strike 2. 1-2 now the count. Due up for the Irish. It'll be Siler, Davis, and Hacker in the bottom of the seventh. 3-3. We're tied here in the top of the seventh. Number 1, number 2 in the state. What else would you expect for a regional championship? Davis is going to step off. And Fowler beats Beale City via walk-off fashion in Vesterberg to move on to the regional final for softball. Wow! Big-time upset there with Fowler coming up with the 11-10 victory over Beale City. That one's just going to miss. Everybody here was ready for the ring-up, except the umpire. Count now 2-2. Shire digs back in, knows he's got new life. Davis checks, well, there's nobody on. Looks like he checks the runner. Someone's going to be hit. Foul down the third baseline. Woo, boy. Woo, that would have been trouble. And in particular with the speed of Shire, he would have been on at least second base. So again, another score update. Beale City falls to Fowler in the regional semis, 11-10. Shepherd falls to Escanaba, 9-1. Clare was a winner earlier. They're up in Houghton Lake. They'll be playing for a regional championship. Getting underway here shortly, or just moments ago. I believe it was 10 noon to there. Here comes the pitch from Davis. This one will be fouled off down the third baseline once again. Count remains 2-2. As Shire's now fouled off a couple. We are tied at 3. It's the top of the seventh inning. Sacred Heart, the number 2 team in the state. Portland St. Pat's, the number 1 team in the state. Their only loss this year to Sacred Heart Academy. Irish 31-6. I believe St. Pat's now 31-1. Here comes the 2-2 from Brady Davis. It's going to miss high. It'll run the count full to 3-2. On deck is Charlie Thalen. The last time he was up, he had an RBI triple. Davis winds, deals. It's going to miss high, ball 4. Shire will take his base, and you go back to when it was 2-2, and it was a very, very close play. It looked like it was going to be strike 3. That's not the case. Here comes Charlie Thalen. Again, he had an RBI triple his last time up. Leonard on deck. Leonard's 1 for 3 on the day. So is Thalen, who's at the plate. We're tied at 3. It's the top of the seventh inning. There is one out. Regional championship action. Davis right down the middle for strike 1 to Thalen. With Shire, he's got a whole lot of speed. But in this situation, sometimes you'll throw one out of the zone to give Wyatt Brown a good chance to throw him out, but that's not going to be the case here. They check the runner over at first. Siler fields it cleanly, sends it back. Yeah, not much of a switch with Davis going to pitcher. It's just Siler going to first base. That's the only switch we've got. They check the runner once again. And sometimes if you're Brady Davis, if you're not necessarily 100% positive about what you want to throw at the plate, you might just check that runner for the heck of it to give yourself a chance to step off. 0-1 to count. 1 out. Top 7. Swing and a miss. Thalen now down 0-2. 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. Again, due up at 7, 8, 9. Siler, Davis, Hacker for Sacred Heart. But it was Davis and Hacker that got the one rally going in this ball game for the Irish. That one's going to miss. It's also going to get away from Brown, which will allow Shire to take second base. 1-2 now the count. Thalen batting from the left side. Waves the bat over his back left shoulder. So a nice job behind the plate playing catcher. He's going to foul this one back. We'll do the 1-2 again. We're in the top of the 7th inning. We're tied at 3 apiece. Sacred Heart Academy, Portland St. Pat's. Runner at second base for St. Pat's is the leadoff hitter, Jared Shire. He's already scored 2 of the 3 runs for St. Pat's. Davis checks that runner. Back easily is Shire. So Shire, the shortstop, out there with Grady Pieratt, the shortstop for Sacred Heart. Probably know that move, trying to run behind the runner there at second base to try and get the pickoff throw. Here comes the 1-2 from Davis. That's going to miss high. 2-2 now to Thalen. And you want to be careful with Thalen with that runner now at second base. Davis checks that runner at second. Shire dances to mess with Davis. Here comes the 2-2. That's going to miss outside. 3-2. Pitch number 7 of the at-bat upcoming here. I'll go back to look like he had Shire punched out moments ago. Now here we are in this situation where he's going to walk Thalen as well. And so you go back to Shire being down 2 strikes. He took a pitch that definitely could have been strike 3.
Now batting number 11,
Davis doesn't get the call. Now we have runners at first and second. 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. We're tied at 3 apiece. As far as our local softball teams go, 2 of the 3 went down. Beale City falls to Fowler 11-10, and a bottom of the 7th inning walk-off for the Lady Eagles of Fowler. Escanaba bested Shepherd 9-1. Both of those seasons come to an end in the regional semi. The Clare Lady Pioneers, they are playing in the regional final later today. Or actually, it probably just had first pitch moments ago. We'll check and see if there's a score there, as they bested Standish Sterling earlier this morning, 8-1. Davis gets that first strike call. 1 out, 2 runners on here in the 7th inning. Davis checks that runner. Oh, 0-1 the count for Davis. 1 out. Davis winds and deals. It's going to go out of the glove of Brown there. It will be strike 2 as well. Brown did a great job keeping it in front of him, though, so those runners could not advance. Leonard down 0-2. Be a big moment for a strikeout here, but you can't really bounce anything up there. You got to be careful if you're Brady Davis. You don't want those runners to advance another 90 feet. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be popped up down the first baseline. It'll get out of play. Excellent job staying alive there by Leonard. He was fooled on that pitch, was able to get just enough of it to send it into foul territory. We're tied 3 apiece. Top of the 7th inning. Portland St. Pat's is threatening with runners on first and second. Brady Davis on the mound, taking over for Gator Siler here in the top of the 7th. He's ahead in the count 0-2. He's checking that runner at second base. He now winds and deals. It's going to be hit up the middle, right to Davis. He's going to take the sure out at first base. I really like that move from Brady Davis. If you try and go for the double play, that ball gets away from first base. That runner is coming in from third. Here comes Logan Howe to the plate. Runners at second and third. Shire can score on a pass ball here. Leonard had an RBI single in the first inning. Since then, he's flown out to right field in the third, grounded out to third in the 5th. 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. We're tied. Runners at second and third for Portland St. Pat's. And they want the balk, and they're going to give it to him. And if you're Wyatt Brown stepped up from home plate to call time, and then they're going to award the balk, which is going to send the runner in from third. Woo, that is a tough play right there. Earl Hartman's going to come out. There's not going to be much of a challenge here. But what happened there, Wyatt Brown was behind the plate. Brown jumped up to stop the play. Then there was movement from Davis. The runner was dancing at third base. The umpire at second base awarded the walk, not behind the plate where Wyatt Brown jumped up. Ooh, that's a tough one if you're Sacred Heart Academy. But then again, you can look back. They did have a couple opportunities here to get out of this half inning. Give credit to Portland St. Pat's as well. But Jared Shire scores the go-ahead run on the balk call here in the top of the 7th inning. It's now 4-3, Portland St. Pat's. Runner at third base for Leonard. Or pardon me, it's not Leonard, it's Howe at the plate. Leonard got out. Then it was the balk call there. 4-3. Portland St. Pat's scores on the balk call. Scott Pieratt, Earl Hartman back out of the dugout one more time. I think just kind of doing the, come on, man. And again, Portland St. Pat's, they obviously want to win this game, but I think 10 years now you go back and ask Portland St. Pat's if this game ends that way. I think they would even say, no, we don't want it to end that way. But a tough balk call goes against Sacred Heart. Again, Wyatt Brown stepped up from behind home plate. I don't know how there can be a balk call when the catcher is not in position for the pitch. But nonetheless, we're in the situation we're in if you're the Sacred Heart Academy boys, and you've got to battle back here. First pitch is over for a strike to Logan Howe. Swing and a miss for Howe on the second one. 4-3, St. Pat's scores here in the top of the 7th inning with 2 outs on the balk call. Here comes the 0-2. That's going to miss. They try and send in that runner from third. Now they got him caught up in the pickle. He'll be tagged out. And so a big mistake there. I don't know what the runner was thinking at third base, maybe expecting the suicide squeeze there. But we're headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Irish have got to rally for at least one run. They've got 7, 8, 9 coming up. It's Siler, it's Davis, it's Hacker, and you just got to try and turn the order back around for Mr. Grady Pieratt to give the senior another opportunity, try and keep his career going, because I just don't see Grady Pieratt being the third out in this game. Get other updates from the Mid-Michigan area. Clare victorious 8-1 over Standish. They're playing in a regional championship game starting up right now or in just a few minutes. Beale City falls to Fowler in softball action in the bottom of the 7th inning. Fowler walks it off 11-10 versus Beale City. Shepherd falls to Escanaba 9-1. I imagine it's going to be Escanaba and Gaylord battling it out for a regional championship down in Elma. So we had 4 of our ultra locals in action today. 2 of them have fallen, and Shepherd and Beale City. Sacred Heart Academy down to their final 3 outs, down 1 run. The Lady Pioneers of Clare already victorious once today. They will play in the regional championship game coming up here in just moments in Houghton Lake. And another update coming from the golf world from Mr. Brian Weifrich. Chris Crockett of Shepherd wins the state title in the Division III Lower Peninsula Individual Boys Golf Tournament. A big, big congratulations to Mr. Chris Crockett winning the state title. Have to see if we can catch up with him for a podcast soon. Siler takes strike 1. It's going to be strike 2 called as well. And again, some of the calls you haven't got, if you're Sacred Heart in particular, a couple for Davis that last half inning. Ooh, here comes the next pitch. It's going to be called strike 3 on the outside corner. Ooh, again, I'm a Sacred Heart Academy homer here, but boy, you've had a few calls that have really just been going against you here if you're the Irish. It's 4-3. Bottom of the 7th inning. Brady Davis at the plate. He has walked, stole a base, and scored a run in the 3rd. And then he hit into an unbelievable double play that was made by Shire at shortstop. First pitch to Davis is going to miss 1-0. You just want to have Pieratt get a chance to step back to the plate. That one's going to miss inside. 2-0 now. It's Davis, it's Hacker. And if one of them gets on, it's back to Pieratt. That's going to miss outside. 3-0 now to Brady Davis. Davis batting from the left side. Taken all the way there. That'll be over for a strike. 4-3. St. Pat leads it here at the bottom of the 7th inning. 3-1 count to Davis. He's going to send this one foul down the first baseline. It'll run the count full to 3-2 to the junior. Simon gets the ball back. Walks back towards the top of the hill on the mound. St. Pat's leads at 4-3. There's one out here. This one's going to be sent foul down the third baseline. One at bat here for Davis. This will be pitch number 7 of the at bat upcoming. Davis takes his time. Steps out, steps back in. He's going to foul this one off again. And the Lady Pioneers of this one going to be fouled off again. We will have pitch number 8 of the at-bat upcoming here. And I do see things underway for Clare in the regional championship. We'll reset that here in just a moment. Here comes the full count pitch once again. That's going to miss. It's a walk for Brady Davis. And that will possibly ensure that Pieratt comes up. Hacker stepping to the plate. One out. We're at the bottom of the 7th inning. The Irish trail by 1, 4-3. Hacker at the plate. Davis at first base. Pieratt on deck. Looks like might have a pinch hitter coming in here. I do think we are going to have Hank McDonald coming into the game to pinch hit for Mr. Luke Hacker. McDonald on the year, 276 hitter. 436 on base percentage.
Now batting number 9, Hank McDonald.
McDonald steps in, batting from the right side. McDonald, the sophomore, digs in. They check the runner over at first. Back easily is Brady Davis. Big Hank McDonald steps back in. Here we go. One out. Bottom 7. The Irish trail by 1. It's going to be strike 1 called on the outside corner to McDonald. Pieratt awaits on deck. Swinging at that one is McDonald coming out of his shoes. 0-2 the count. Great pitch there from Braden Simon. Down, steps out, steps back in. Pinch hitting for Hacker here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. That's going to miss outside. Great job behind the plate by Thalen to keep that in front of him. If he doesn't, that allows Davis to move up to second base. McDonald steps back in. 1-2 the count. 1 out, bottom 7. 4-3 the score. St. Pat's with the lead. This one's going to be chopped towards second. They're going to get the sure out over at first base. Well, that does move up the runner. Here we go. Grady Pieratt at the plate. The Irish down 1 run. It's 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. The tying run is at second. The go-ahead game-winning run is at the plate for the Irish. Timeout on the mound. And if I'm Coach Shire, I hate to say this, but I'm not letting Pieratt swing the bat here. It's going to put a lot of pressure on your defense with another really good hitter in Noah Zion coming to the plate. But you got to be careful. Another thing, Pieratt's going out there and saying, hey, if they fake the throw and it looks like it gets by, do not leave the bag. With the speed of Davis, you don't necessarily need him at third to score on a hit to the outfield. These are the moments you dream of right here. There's 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 4-3, and they will intentionally walk Grady Pieratt. And I don't blame him. Which will bring up Noah Zion, who's 1 for 3 on the day. He singled in the 1st inning. He struck out and grounded out to second base. But Noah Zion is one of those guys. You want him in clutch situations. Here we go. Smart decision by Shire to walk Pieratt. Runners at first and second for Noah Zion. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. The Irish trail by 1. Swinging at the first pitch is Noah Zion. It's going to be fouled back. Zion ready to rope that one to the outfield. If he sends one to the gap, that will score Pieratt from first with his speed and base running ability. Here comes the 0-1. That's going to miss outside. 1-1. You got to be very careful if you're Simon. You let 1 get away from you and allow the runners to advance. You let 2 get away from you. That could allow the run to score from second. This one's going to be hit towards first. Not an easy play. It's going to eat up the first baseman. Zion looks to beat it out. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. Bases loaded, full of Irish after the single from Noah Zion. At third is Davis. At second is Pieratt. Heading to the plate is Ryan Wiggins with a chance to win it for the Irish. And this will be possibly the last batter as well for Simon. He's at 102. Oh, baby, what a moment. The bases are loaded. There's 2 outs. It's the bottom of the 7th. It's a 1-run game. Ryan Wiggins, or Wiggy as they call him, steps up to the plate, batting from the left side. He's going to take the first pitch. It's ball 1. Here comes the next pitch from Simon. He's going to take that one. It's going to be over for a strike. He's going to take that next one. It's going to be another call strike. 1-2 the count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. Here comes the pitch. Wiggins ropes it in between first and second. 1 run is in. They're sending Pieratt around to score. He's out at home. He's out at home. We are headed to the 8th inning, and we are tied at 4 apiece. Oh, baby, what a game. Ryan Wiggins with the RBI single. What a throw from center field to nab Pieratt at home. But Davis is able to come around and score on the RBI single from Wiggins. And ladies and gentlemen, we are heading to inning number 8. Pieratt appears to be hurt down on the field. That would be a huge deal going forward for Sacred Heart Academy, as you not only lose your best bat, but you lose your shortstop as well. Pops coach Pieratt making sure he's good, but oh my goodness, what a game this is as Wiggins ties it up at 4 apiece. Pieratt is thrown out at home from Brady Leonard, the center fielder for Portland St. Pat's. We are headed to extra innings here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Number 1, number 2 in the state regional championship baseball. It does not get any better than this. Davis heading back out onto the mound. Saving pitchers for the second game be darned at this point. Pieratt trotting back out to shortstop. So close to having the game-winning run to walk it off for Sacred Heart in the bottom of the 7th inning. But oh no, we go to extras with the number 1, number 2 team in the state. What a game this has been as we head to free baseball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Coming to you live from the Barbary Law Studios, built by Konwinski Construction. More love going out Gates Drilling and Service, Bill's Custom Fab, The Bird All-American Grill, Clark Modular Homes, Weefrich Financial, Woods Household Appliance, and we'll continue to roll through J&J Auto, Mount Pleasant Heating and AC, Konwinski Construction, Weber Brothers Sawmill, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, ENS Graphics, GNS Mechanical, along with our friends at Mount Pleasant Public Schools. Yes, it might be summer, but you can still get in early on being a bus driver for Mount Pleasant next year, and a chance for you to get some paid training, some full bennies, and a very, very flexible schedule as well for all of those bus drivers at Mount Pleasant Public Schools. An absolute dream of a game here for Sacred Heart Academy and Portland St. Pat's. And Clare is underway with Midland Bullock Creek in their regional championship game. We'll continue to keep you updated on all of that action as well. And Nick Hatzinger can now see why I cover up everything as much as I can as his iPad goes down via heat. Bullock Creek up 3-0 in the bottom of the first against Clare. Clare, the number 1 team in the state. They've already bested Bullock Creek a couple times this year, but Bullock Creek with a great start there against the Lady Pioneers. But right now, it's 4-4 as we head to extra baseball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. This one's going to be fouled off. It's Howe back at the plate. He was at the plate in the bottom of the 7th, or top of the 7th, when the runner got nabbed trying to go in between third and home. Second pitch from Davis, that's going to stay outside. We're in the 8th. Yes, the 8th inning here at Tennyson Stadium. We're tied at 4 apiece with Sacred Heart Academy and Portland St. Pat's. That one's going to be a called strike. Braden Simon, the opposing pitcher, is on deck. What a gem he has pitched. Pitched 7 innings now for Portland St. Pat's. He has faced his last batter, though, so he won't be back out. Or maybe he's got 1 pitch left if he comes back out. This one's going to be pot foul out of play. 4-4 is the score. 1-2 is the count to Logan Howe. Davis has the signal. Winds and deals. That one's just going to miss the outside corner, much to the chagrin of the Sacred Heart Academy fans here. Ready for the 2-2 is Brady Davis. So nobody out here, top of the 8th inning. This one's going to be popped out towards second base, first base. Bo's going to call everybody off as he backs up onto the grass to make the catch. Going to bring Braden Simon to the plate. Simon had an RBI bunt single back in the first, grounded out to short in the 5th, and struck out in the 5th. It's technically 1 for 3 on the day at bat, and a number 4 coming up for Simon. Davis winds and deals. Showing bunt is Simon. Davis is going to miss, though. 1-0 the count. Yeah, usually only play 7 in high school baseball, but here we are in the 8th inning. 1-0 the count, 1 out. That one's going to be over for a strike. Showing bunt once again was Braden Simon. Tyler Thalen on deck. Here comes the next pitch from Davis. Swing and a miss. It'll be Bogue, Duffy, Brown due up for the Irish in the bottom of the 8th inning. Davis winds and deals with the 1-2. He's going to miss high. Try to turn up the gas and get him to chase on that one. Simon wasn't going for it. Maple City Glen Lake was ready for a 3 o'clock championship or quarterfinal game. I think that's going to be moved back a little bit now with the way this one's going. Here comes the 2-2. That's just going to miss high. 3-2 now the count. And you start to think about game number 2 and how many pitches can guys have, this, that, and the other. But then it's also, again, second game be darned right now because you got to win this one first. That's going to miss. It's going to be a 1-out walk. At first is Simon. Again, I don't think we're going to see a pinch runner come in for him. He is the pitcher, so they could bring one in. Stepping to the plate now is Tyler Thalen. He's 0 for 3 on the day. He's reached base one time via fielder's choice in the first. Then he grounded out to first base, grounded out to shortstop. Davis winds and deals. First pitch will be over for a strike. Siler holds the runner on at first. Giving it a big hole over there in between first and second. They show bunt. Pulls it back, but it will be strike 2. 0-2 now the count to Thalen. On deck is Simon White. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He's reached base twice. He's walked, had a single. He got caught stealing by Wyatt Brown back in the 6th. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Brady Davis. On 3 pitches to boot, which is a big deal going forward, as we'll probably see him pitch game number 2 if the Irish are fortunate enough to win this one here. Simon White now stepping in, batting from the right side. 2 outs. We're in the 8th inning. Extras here at Tennyson Stadium. The regional championship game with Sacred Heart and Portland St. Pat's. Number 1, number 2 in the state. Check that runner over at first. Back is Simon. And Thalen, technically 1 for 2 on the day. A single, a walk, and he struck out to end the first inning. That first pitch will be over for a strike for Davis. If the Irish win this one at the conclusion of a very, very short Bird All-American Grill postgame show, then we'll shut everything down for about 10 minutes, and then we will start a new broadcast. That one's going to be fouled back. It's 0-2. Davis gets it back on the bump. Digging in from the right side is White. 0-2 the count. Runner at first base. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Davis winds, deals. This one's going to be hit towards center field. Zion tracking it. And he'll make the catch right in front of the flying C. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yes, that's right. The bottom of the 8th inning. It's Bogue. It's Duffy. It's Brown to see if they can win it for the Irish here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Take a little break so this guy can get himself a drink. Back with more Irish Championship Baseball right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
The Diner, where homemade favorites come to life every day for breakfast and lunch. From fluffy pancakes to savory sandwiches, The Diner has your cravings covered. Discover the perfect blend of comfort food and camaraderie at The Diner. Join them every Friday night till 7 for their famous fish fry. The Diner on North Mission, Mount Pleasant.
Jenna Gates.
And Kyle Gates here. We are the fifth generation with Gates Drilling and Service.
We've been serving our friends and neighbors in Michigan since 1893.
We have the latest and greatest well drilling technology, allowing us to put in wells where others can't.
Lake lots and tight spaces are no problem.
From our family to yours, thank you, and call at 989-772-7841 for all your well drilling and service needs.
Gates Drilling and Service, where Gates goes, water flows.
Bryce Updegraff with Grady Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates thanks the coaches and officials who put in the time to help student athletes achieve their dreams and goals. For all of your real estate needs, the Bryce is right with Bryce Updegraff. With Grady Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, 989-620-6595.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back inside our Barbary Law Studios, built by Konwinski Construction. And I'm getting asked by Joe Barber right now, do they got a third pitcher they can throw? And oh yeah, they do. That would be Jason Bogue. But the really kind of sad thing is, if you had Joe McDonald this year too, Sacred Heart Academy would have that third arm. But here we go, bottom of the eighth inning. We're tied at 4. The Irish with a chance to walk it off. 4, 5, 6, due up. It's Bogue, it's Duffy, it's Brown. If any of them get on, it'll be Siler after that. New pitcher out there is going to be Shire. Jared Shire will come in from his shortstop position. Looks like Howe's moving from third to short. And then Simon is now at third. This one's going to be fouled off by Bogue. Out of play. 1-1 the count to the all-sports superstar, Jason Bogue. Senior digs back in. Curveball from Shire is going to miss. 2-1 now the count to Bogue. Tegan Duffy on deck. Wyatt Brown behind both of them. Bo's going to smash this one down the left field line. It's going to go foul. Woo, if that would have been fair, Bo could still be running into second base right now. 2-2 the count. Bottom of the eighth inning. We are tied at 4. Sacred Heart Academy, Portland St. Pat's playing for a regional championship. It's the number 1 and number 2 team in the state. Bo's going to reach out and poke that one towards the outfield. Not an easy play at short. Howe makes his way all the way over towards second base before he's able to bring in the catch. So pop out to second base. We'll bring up Tegan Duffy with the bases empty.
Now batting number 5, Tegan Duffy.
We're in the bottom of the eighth inning here in regional championship action. Free baseball on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Shire winds and deals on the bump. It'll be strike 1 on the outside corner to Tegan Duffy. Your Sacred Heart, you don't mind that call. You just want to see your guys get that call, come out here in that next half. That's going to be a called strike as well to Duffy. He's quickly down in the count 0-2 to Shire. Here comes the pitch. That's going to miss low. 1-2 the count for Duffy. Duffy started to go around for just a moment there. Held up. Eighth inning, tied at 4. Duffy is going to take that one as well. 2-2. Great eye from Tegan Duffy at the plate there. So down 2 strikes in extra innings. Not easy to take a pitch, but Duffy lays off on that one. Here comes the 2-2. This one's going to be hit towards left field. It will be caught. Simon White in the right spot to make the catch. That was a good hit there from Duffy, but sometimes you just hit it right at him. Here comes Wyatt Brown. Brown has reached base one time. He's technically 0 for 2 on the day. He walked, got out via fielder's choice. Bottom of the eighth inning. 2 outs, nobody on for Sacred Heart Academy. Brown steps up to the dish. The senior will take ball 1 outside. Nate Siler on deck. He's technically 0 for 3 on the day. That one's also going to miss. 2-0. I thought it was 2-0. Still got 1-0 on the scoreboard here. Here comes the next pitch from Shire. That's going to be called on the outside corner. 1-1 the count. That one's going to miss outside. 2-1. Siler on deck. After that's Brady Davis. Davis has walked twice and scored 2 runs in this game. Technically 0 for 1 on the day, but 2 runs scored for Davis. Brown's going to pop this one up. Not an easy play. It's going to get out of play down the first baseline. This will be pitch number 7 of the at-bat coming up, as Jared Shire is now into the game for Portland St. Pat's. Braden Simon, Nate Siler both did a great job for each team holding down 2 powerful offenses. Now you've got Shire out there for St. Pat's. Got Davis out there for Sacred Heart. Both of them want to be able to go in the second game. Depending on the number of pitches thrown, that could end up being trouble. So it's going to be a foul tip, but it's into the glove for a strikeout. And so that'll go 1, 2, 3 in the 8th for Sacred Heart Academy. We are headed to inning number 9. Let me say that one more time. We're at inning number 9. And I did get a call earlier from Joe Barberry, who was just double-checking. He said, in high school baseball, they play 7 or 9. I said, nope, it's 7. But here we go into inning number 9. Bruce Spockman here with you on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Much love going out to the aforementioned Joe Barberry and Barberry Law, sponsor of our studios here, built by Konwinski Construction. Also love going out to Weefrich Financial, sponsor of the Zabe Batchelder Baller of the Game. Boy, it's going to be a tough decision. 3-3 is now the score, top of the second inning for Clare Bullet Creek softball. And I expect Clare, the bats, to really kind of open up in that one. They've already bested Bullet Creek twice earlier this year, but Bullet Creek with a great start. They got up 3-0. Now Clare battling right back. Make it 3-3. Other games from the Mid-Michigan area today. Buck 92 and Kyle Sandel was down in Vesterberg to watch Beale City softball. They fell 11-10 in walk-off fashion to Fowler. So big shout to the Fowler Eagles winning that regional semifinal, moving on to the regional championship. And Lila Curtis had a great outing for the Shepherd Blue Jays, but Escanaba ended up having a bats wake up late. I think it was 1-1 going to the 4th or 5th inning. Escanaba went on to win that game 9-1. Our score here, 4-4. We're in the 9th inning. Brady Davis is back on the mound for Sacred Heart Academy. Wyatt Brown behind the dish, heading to the plate for Portland St. Pat's is the number 8 hitter, TJ Chamberlain. And you really, really want to get 8-9 to go down in order. You don't want anybody on base when Jared Shire comes up to the plate. First pitch will be over for a strike for Brady Davis. On the day, TJ Chamberlain is 1 for 3, a strikeout, fly out to right field. I think I have penned down there, and a single. This one's going to be fouled back quickly, 0-2. And inning number 9 here. Sacred Heart Academy in Portland St. Pat's. Regional championship on the line. Davis winds and deals. That one's going to stay high. 1-2 the count. And another update, big shout out to Brian Weefrich. Christopher Crockett from Shepherd. State championship for Division III boys golf. Sophomore Bryce Weefrich finishing in 5th as well, so a great job by him. There's the punch out from Daverless. Chamberlain gets bowled down. That'll bring up Nate Fierce. Fierce got caught trying to steal after he walked back in the second inning. Since then, he's grounded out to the pitcher and struck out. Number 9 hitter for Portland St. Pat's. You do not want him to get on for Jared Shire. Shire has scored 3 of the 4 runs for St. Pat's in this game. First pitch over for a strike for Brady Davis to Fierce. Nate Fierce has done a great job at second base in this one for Portland St. Pat's. There have been a number of ground balls hit his way that could have ate him up. He's been able to nab every one of them. This one's going to be fouled to the backstop. Just 1 error apiece for each team. Biggest call of this game, though, might be the balk back in the 7th inning. Really questionable as Wyatt Brown stood up from behind home plate. Then the balk was called. It's very, very interesting. Davis ahead 0-2. Winds and deals with the bases empty. He's going to get the call. 3rd strike on the corner. So Fears goes down. Back to the top of the order here with Jared Shire. Again, Shire has scored 3 of the 4 runs for Portland St. Pat's. He's technically 1 for 2 on the day. Single, fly out to center field, but back in the first, he was hit by a pitch and came around to score. And in the 7th, he walked and came around to score. He's got 3 of the 4 Shamrock runs. Just got a feeling if you're Davis, you do not want to let this guy on base. That last run, though, coming via the balk. Again, just a tough call going against Sacred Heart there. Pitch from Davis, right down the middle for strike 1. It's Siler, Davis, Hacker due up in the bottom of the 9th. Yes, the bottom of the 9th for Sacred Heart Academy. Shire kind of gets fooled by that one. It's strike 2 for Brady Davis. Davis looking to strike out the side here. Lefty winds and deals. It'll be strike 3 looking. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th. We remain tied at 4. But right now, you feel like Sacred Heart Academy's got some momentum as Brady Davis strikes out the side. It's 7, 8, 9 due up for the Irish. But that is where 3 of the 4 runs have come from in this game. Davis has walked twice. He got hit into a double play. Came around to score both of his walks. Luke Hacker singled and came around to score in the 3rd. Hank McDonald pinch hit for him in the 7th. He grounded out to second base. It's the bottom of the 9th inning. We're tied at 4. Regional championship action. Beale City, Portland St. Pat's. Coming into today, Portland St. Pat's ranked number 1 in the state. Sacred Heart Academy ranked number 2 in the state. You had great pitching performances from Nate Siler and Braden Simon. Now 2 great relief efforts coming from Jared Shire, who starts his 2nd inning of work for Portland St. Pat's. And Brady Davis has really got things going for the Irish as he just struck out the side moments ago. It's the Barbary Law Studios, built by Konwinski Construction. Regional championship baseball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. What a game this has been. It's Siler, it's Davis, and Hacker will be back up.
Now batting number 13, Nate Siler.
If the Irish do win this game, Siler's fingerprints will be all over it. Now he really has a chance to make it like a whole handprint, not just a fingerprint, as he steps up to the dish here. Bottom of the 9th inning. And the leadoff hitter. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Grounded out to second base. Did reach via fielder's choice, and he struck out his last time up. First one misses. Second one's going to be over for a strike. 1-1 the count to Nate Siler, the sophomore. Shire bounces that one up there, 2-1. And Brady Davis on deck. Technically 0 for 1 on the day, but he has 2 walks and 2 runs scored for Sacred Heart. He just struck out the side moments ago as well. Shire with the next pitch. It's going to be a little dribbler right back to Shire on the mound. He's able to send it over to first base for the out. And if you're both coaches, that's the type of thing you're waiting for somebody to kick the ball around or do something, but it's just not happening with these 2 squads. And if we get to 10 innings, I believe it was last year, there was 9 innings last year for softball, you put that runner on second or something like that. I don't know if that will be a scenario here for baseball action. That's going to be an outside corner called strike going against Davis. Luke Hacker on deck. Then it'd be Pieratt back at the top of the order. Here comes a rope out to right center field for Davis. It's going to get down. Davis turns, looks to charge in a second. It's going to be a close play. He's there! Davis is safe at second base with the double. And you think about that Zaid Batchelder, baller of the game. Davis already 2 runs scored. Now with the double, he just struck out the side to give the Irish a chance to win it here in the bottom of the 9th inning. We're tied at 4. Senior Luke Hacker stepping to the plate. Brady Davis at second base. The game-winning run. Hacker digs in. He's technically 1 for 1 on the day. Back in the 7th, They pinch hit for him. Or pardon me, he'd be 1 for 2 on the day. Started off the 5th inning getting out. Shire now having to deal with a runner on base. Davis dances away from second. First pitch is going to be over for a strike. On deck is Grady Pieratt. I really don't think we're going to see them pitch to him in this situation. Hacker digs back in. That's going to miss outside. 1-1 to the senior left fielder. Bottom 9. We're tied at 4. The Irish with the walk-off run at second base. Shire winds and deals. This one's going to be popped up way high. Not an easy play for the catcher, but he makes the catch. Oh, my goodness. What a play from Charlie Thalen. Oh, goodness gracious. The defense in this game continues to be immaculate from both teams. Pieratt stepping up to the dish. Again, I doubt they're going to throw it to him as he walks to second base. His second intentional walk in a row. It's going to draw the Boo Birds here from Sacred Heart, but you can't really blame them. Here comes Noah Zion. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. And he singled to score the game-tying run back in the 7th. Or pardon me, no, he singled, but then it was Wiggins that came up with the game-tying RBI. Pardon me. Zion steps back in. Davis at second base, dances away. First pitch is going to miss. 1-0 to Zion. Ryan Wiggins on deck. 2 for 4 on the day. Zion also 2 for 4 on the day. Davis dances back to second base. Last thing you can do right now is get caught leading off first or second if you're Pieratt or Davis. Here comes the pitch from Shire. This one's going to be popped out towards right field. Not an easy play, though. Hustling, and that's going to be caught by the second baseman, or pardon me, that's Simon now playing second base. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading to inning number 10. I will say that again. We are heading to inning number 10. This game started at 12:30. It is now 2:51. The state quarterfinal game was originally scheduled for 3 o'clock. Well, we're pushing that one back because we're going to inning number 10, and that's the last column I've got in my box score as I show it to Stemke and Halliday, so we need something to happen here in inning number 10. But this game has turned into what my old NCAA football games would call an instant classic. St. Pat scored 2 runs way back in the first inning. Then it was 1 in the 5th. And the run in the 7th inning scored via a balk for Portland St. Pat's. A tough call going against Sacred Heart Academy. Sacred Heart scored 3 in the 3rd and then had to get 1 in the bottom of the 7th. They were able to get it. Trying to come home for the game-winning run was Grady Pieratt. He was tagged out at home. That sent us to extra innings. Nothing in the 8th. Nothing in the 9th. We are headed to inning number 10 in our regional championship game. The number 1 team in the state, Portland St. Pat's, against the number 2 team in the state, Sacred Heart Academy. An update from around the rest of the area. The Beale City girls softball team saw their wonderful season come to an end at the hands of Fowler 11-10 via walk-off fashion in the bottom of the 7th inning. Shepherd fell to highly ranked Escanaba 9-1 in their regional semifinal. Clare was victorious 8-1 in their regional semifinal. They're now tied with 3 in the top of the 3rd against Midland Bullitt Creek. And a shout out to Midland Bullitt Creek, who is having a strong performance in that one. But oh, baby, what a game we've had here.
Number 12, Charlie Thalen.
It's 2, 3, 4. Due up for Portland St. Pat's, the heart of the order here in the 10th. Davis back out onto the mound for the Irish. You look at that board, 6 hits for Sacred Heart, 4 hits for St. Pat's, both teams with just 1 error. What a game this has been. We're now into double-digit innings here. First pitch for Davis is going to miss to Thalen. Thalen made a great catch moments ago behind the plate for Portland St. Pat's. Get Luke Hacker out. If he doesn't do that, could have been a very different situation. That one's also going to miss for Davis. 2-0 the count. Thalen's 1 for 4 on the day. But that one was an RBI triple. Here comes the 2-0. That's in there for a strike. Again, pitchers be darned for the second game now for either of these teams. Doesn't matter if Davis can go now in the state quarterfinal because you got to win this regional final. Turning up the gas on that one was Davis. Not catching up was Thalen. 2-2 now the count. Again, we're here in inning number 10 with Beale City and Portland St. Pat's. This one's going to be a foul tip. They're going to say it hit foul before it went down that third baseline. Wiggins was charging in from third, ready to make the play. The lefty Davis back on the mound. Here comes the 2-2 to Thalen. Thalen's going to pop this one way up. Pieratt trying to find it over at shortstop. He's able to gather underneath it and make the catch just into the outfield beyond the third base. So he gets a 2-hitter down. Now here comes the number 3 hitter. Again, this is the heart of the lineup here for Portland St. Pat's.
Now batting, number 11.
We've got the heart of the lineup coming up for the Irish in the bottom of the 10th with Wiggins, Bogue, and Duffy. Check the runner. First pitch is going to be on the outside corner for a strike. The lefty Davis winds, deals. Strike 2 on the inside corner. Lefty Davis heading to count 0-2. Winds, deals. That one's going to miss, but a good pitch there trying to get Leonard to chase. Leonard on the day is 1 for 4. RBI single back in the first inning. He also came around to score. Since then, fly out to right field, ground out to third base, and pop out. Here comes the 1-2. This one's going to be fouled out of play. One and two the count. Again, we are in the top of the 10th inning. St. Pat's at the bat. Davis on the hill for the Irish. Came in the 7th inning. The only run he gave up was via a balk on a tough call. Davis does not get the outside corner third call. Strike. That'll run the count now to 2-2. Davis looking for another good pitch here. This one will be fouled out of play. And you go back to that 7th inning. Shire was down 0-2, and it looked like it was strike 3. Then he eventually reaches via walk. Then you end up having the runners advance to second and third, and you get that balk to get that run to go ahead 4-3. The Irish tie it up. Now 2 scoreless innings in the 8th and 9th. Here we are in the 10th. That one is fouled back. What an at-bat here from Brady Leonard. Counts 2-2, but there's been 3 strikes fouled off as well for Leonard. It's number 8 of the at-bat upcoming here. The lefty Davis on the mound. Gets set, winds and deals with the 2-2. Curveball is going to be fouled off down the right field line. That is 4 2-strike pitches that have been fouled off now. Davis taking his time. Stepping out, stepping back in is Leonard. 2-2 the count. There's one out here. Top of the 10th inning in this regional championship game with Beale City and Portland St. Pat's. This one's going to be popped up, but it's going to get out of play once again. What an at-bat right now for Mr. Leonard. That is the 5th foul ball with 2 strikes there. The count remains 2-2. This will be pitch number 10 of the at-bat, upcoming for the number 3 hitter, Brady Leonard, Portland St. Pat's. Swing and a miss. It's going to get in the dirt, but Brown will be able to throw it down to Siler in time for the out. Big time punch out there for Davis. Leonard made him work for it, though. 2 down. The cleanup hitter, Logan Howe, coming to the plate. He is technically 0 for 4 on the day. He also has a walk. Getting to that point where you're getting into 4, 5 at-bats in this game. You don't see that very often in high school baseball and or softball. Davis, first pitch strike there to Howe. Howe started at third base, but once Shire came in, I believe he moved to short, one of the better fielders for Portland St. Pat's. And one's going to bounce up there, 1-1 the count. Four to 4 is the score. We're in the top of the 10th inning. Woo! What a game this has been. Davis winds and deals the 1-1. It's going to be hit right up the middle, off the glove of Davis. See if he can get there in time. He does. Over for the out. No, it's going to get away from first base. So I'm going to rule that as a single, but that'll be ruled an error. And moving up to second base now is Logan Howe. He's going to get a runner to come in for him here. It looks like, or no, he's just going to go drop off the sliding gear. I'll make that joke. But now a runner on second base for Portland St. Pat's. With 2 outs here in the top of the 10th inning, they have a chance to put a go-ahead run on board. Braden Simon on the day is technically 1 for 3. He had an RBI bunt single in the first, stranded, grounded out to short in the 4th, struck out in the 5th, and walked in the 8th, and was stranded. It does look like we have a pinch runner coming in to run for Howe. A lot of instruction right now with Coach Shire and the young man who's going out to run for Portland St. Pat's.
Running for Portland St. Patrick, number 6, Ben White.
Ben White coming in to run for St. Patrick's. Got a lot of instruction from Coach Shire. Big moment here. Go-ahead run at second base. Top of the 10th inning. There's 2 outs at the plate is Braden Simon. He started this game on the mound for Portland St. Pat's. He's now playing first base. He has been fantastic. The first pitch is going to miss. Davis checks the runner at second. He winds, he deals. It's going to be hit up the middle. What a play from Davis as he snags it at the pitcher's mound. Slowly walks it over. A slow throw over to first in time for the out. What a play from Grady Davis. And yet, you could call it his error moments ago, but then he's able to make up for it there. We're headed to the bottom of the 10th inning. It's the last half inning. I've got my scoring column, then I don't know what I am going to do after that. Just pay attention to the game changer. It's 4-4. Heading to the bottom of the 10th inning. Regional Championship Baseball. Beale City, 4. Portland St. Pat's, 4. Due up for the Irish. It's the heart of the order. It's 3. It's 4. It's 5. It's Wiggins. It's Bogue. It's Duffy. Last time we saw Ryan Wiggins at the plate, he had the game-tying RBI single and was about a half a foot away from having the game-winning 2 RBI single as Pieratt was tagged out at home. You go back to that 7th inning, you think about the balk call for Portland St. Pat's, and then you think about how close Pieratt was to scoring. The Irish just inches away from winning this game. Now they got a chance to win it in the bottom of the 10th. We're tied at 4. And it looks like Ryan Wiggins is going to have a little trouble. He's having a little trouble getting the weight off the bat there. Wyatt Brown trying to help him out here. Shire back out onto the bump for Portland St. Pat's. The Irish with a chance to win it here at the bottom of the 10th inning. One of those situations where Wiggins might have to get himself a different baseball bat if he's not able to untangle his, I say.
Now batting number 14, Ryan Wiggins.
Wiggins stepping up to the plate, batting from the left side. Again, the most casual stance you will see from an all-stater, batting from the left side. I feel like he wants pitchers to think, you know what, I'm not really paying attention up here, and then he ropes one by you for a single. They do eventually get his bat ready. As you hear that little sound there for, we'll say, Ryan Wiggins' bat, as I accidentally hit one of my hotkeys here. This one's going to be roped for a base hit. The Irish got the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 10th inning, and it's Ryan Wiggins. Now Jason Bogue stepping up to the plate.
Now batting
Wiggins on first base for the Irish. The leadoff single here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Wiggins now 3 for 5 on the day, and one of his outs came on an unbelievable catch over at first base from Tyler Thalen. Bogue steps in. Wiggins is a threat to steal, then again, not like Zion or Pieratt at the top of the order. Bogue's going to send this one right up the middle. Chance for a double play ball here for St. Pat's. They're going to throw one, and they get the double play. Ooh, boy. A 6-3 double play, the second that we've seen in this game from Portland St. Pat's. And just like that, the bases are empty for Tegan Duffy here in the bottom of the 10th inning. You start to think about a play that could get you some momentum. What a job by Fears there, who started this game at second base, now gets the double play. He's been unbelievable defensively up the middle all game long. Brings Duffy to the plate. First one's going to miss outside, 1-0. Comes the next pitch from Shire. That one's going to be on the outside corner, 1-1. We're in the bottom of the 10th inning. We are tied at 4 apiece. Number 1 in the state, number 2 in the state with St. Pat's and Sacred Heart. The Irish had the leadoff man on moments ago before it was an unbelievable double play made by Nate Fears from the shortstop position for Portland St. Pat's. 1-2. Duffy steps back out, takes a couple practice swings. The right fielder batting from the right side. If he sends one deep to the gap here, this young man has a chance to go all the way around. That one's going to miss. 2-2. Whole lot of twos up there, as Aid Mindell would say. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 10th. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be strike 3. And so they end up going 1, 2, 3 for the Irish in the 10th. We are headed to the 11th inning. Our score remains 4-4. We got all the commercial breaks in. We want to make sure we don't miss anything, but let me give some more love to all of the great sponsors who make it possible for me to be here today. Isabella Community Sportsplex, Berry Funeral Home, Mid-Michigan Industries, Boomer's Lawn Care, Doozy's Ice Cream Place, Rick's Food Center, Almost Up North and Stitches for Britches, Schaefer's Bait and Sporting Goods, Gross Farms and Brad Gross Electric, Bogue Banga and Bradley, WW Construction, the Fisher Companies, Central Concrete, Central Asphalt, and Fisher Transportation, and Kenneth Egger, DDS. All the friends at Mount Pleasant Public Schools. Yeah, it might be the end of the school year, but they are still looking for bus drivers. They are still looking for parapros going forward. Get everything you need to know at mtpleasantschools.net. It's mtpleasantschools with an S at the end, .net. We're headed to the 11th inning. That's right, the 11th inning. The scoreboard has reset. My scoreboard is done. I've got all 10 innings filled out, box score-wise. I didn't think we'd be going 11. But here we are with the number 1 and the number 2 team in the state. Our state quarterfinal game was scheduled to start 8 minutes ago.
Number 17, Tyler Thalen.
Tyler Thalen be leading things off for Portland St. Pat's. Brady Davis back onto the mound for Sacred Heart Academy. Start to get to a point in games where you run out of a way to describe it. And that's where we are with this instant classic. 4-4 is the score. Leading things off for Portland St. Pat's here in the top of the 11th. Yes, the top of the 11th inning is Tyler Thalen. It's 6, 7, 8 due up, brought to you by our friends at J&J Auto, Mount Pleasant Heating and AC, and Konwinski Construction. Second one's going to be over for a strike. 0-2 the count. Davis, the lefty. He's got the sign from Brown behind the plate. He winds and deals. Strike 3 with the curveball. Again, I'm at the point where there's no point in me putting anything on the box score because I don't got the room anymore. But a big-time punch out there. Here comes Simon White to the plate, the number 7 hitter for Portland St. Pat's. Again, we are tied at 4. This is inning number 11 with the number 1, number 2 team in the state. An update. Top of the 4th, Clare Pioneers go ahead of Midland Bullet Creek 4-3 regional championship softball game there. First pitch is over for a strike to White. Second one's going to miss low and outside, 1-1 the count. Davis gets it back, working quickly. Here comes the 1-1. That's just going to miss. It almost seems like when the umpire hears some cheering for a strike coming from the crowd, he's like, we're going to tighten it up a little bit here. 2-1 now the count. 1 out. Top of the 11th inning here in this regional championship game. Davis winds. He deals the 2-1. That's going to miss high. 3-1 now the count. After Simon White, it's Chamberlain. Chamberlain's 1 for 4 on the day. That's going to be over for strike. I thought it was going to be strike 3. Pardon me. It's going to run to 3-2. Davis steps off for a moment. Walks back towards second base. 3-2 the count here. Again, this is the top of the 11th inning. If you're just tuning in, you look at that scoreboard, you kind of scratch your head, say, what's going on? We have played that much baseball. Davis winds, deals. That's going to be ball 4, just going to miss high. So it'll be a 1-out walk. Should bring up T.J. Chamberlain, the right fielder.
Number 18, T.J. Chamberlain.
Chamberlain's 1 for 4 on the day. I think we're going to have a pinch hitter coming in for Portland St. Pat's. So big change up here. Portland St. Pat's bringing in a new batter here. It'll be Grant Plyan, the senior, coming in to take a swing here. There is 1 out. We are in the top of the 11th inning with Sacred Heart Academy in Portland St. Pat's. Gator Siler. It's great for the Irish to start the game. Brady Davis has been just as good since he came in. The only run he surrendered was on a questionable balk call. A 4th run came across the top of the 7th inning for Portland St. Pat's on that balk call. The Irish almost walked it off in the bottom of the 7th. Now here we are, top 11. It's 4-4. Runner on first, 1 out for Portland St. Pat's. At the plate, pinch hitting for T.J. Chamberlain is Plyan. That's going to stay low, 1-1 the count. Or pardon me, it's actually Isaiah Rocky in hitting, number 19, not Plyan. Pardon me. Saw 23 out there. He might have just been grabbing a bat. Plyan's going to hit this one up the middle. Hard charge for Bogue at second. He gets there in time to first for the out. 2 outs. Top 11. That'll bring Nate Fears to the plate.
Now batting number 27, Nathan Fears.
Fears on the day has a walk, and then he's over 3. He struck out his last 2 times up. And we're going to have a pinch runner coming in now as Fears digs in. Top of the 11th inning here. High school baseball action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. 4-4 is the score with 2 outs. Top of the 11 with number 1 in the state, St. Pat's, and number 2 in the state, Sacred Heart Academy. Wyatt Brown, Davis have a quick word there. Now they head back. Here we go. Runner at second base. Fears at the plate. Davis winds and deals. This one's going to be sent out to right field. It's going to get into foul territory. 0-1 now the count to Nate Fears. Started at second base for Portland St. Pat's. Once Shire came into the game at pitcher, he replaced him on the mound, replaced him at short. So he's been great in the field today for Portland St. Pat's. Comes the 0-1 from Brady Davis. Fears is going to send this one down the first baseline. It's going to go foul. If that would have stayed fair, I do think Wiggins would have been able to field it, but that could have scored that runner from second base. Again, if you're just joining us, you see that empty scoreboard. We're in the 11th, baby. We've started the scoreboard over. We are tied at 4 apiece. It's an 0-2 count to the number 9 hitter, Nate Fears, the runner at second base for Portland St. Pat's. The lefty, Davis, waves off a couple signs. Checks that runner. He winds and deals. That's going to miss outside. I don't mind the pitch on 0-2, though, trying to get the batter to chase. Fears was not fooled, though, as he steps back out. A couple practice swings before he steps back in. Davis checks that runner. This one's going to be sent out towards center field. There for the catch is Zion. Here we come, bottom of the 11th inning. We remain tied at 4 apiece. And if you're Sacred Heart, you do not want to get back to the 12th because it'll be the top of the order due up for St. Pat's. For the Irish, it's Wyatt Brown, Nate Siler, and Brady Davis. An instant classic here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Bottom of the 11th inning, a regional championship on the line. This is game number 99 of the year here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. And what a game it's been. Maybe the best game out of the 99 that we have had. 4-4. Heading to the bottom of the 11th inning. A chance for the Irish to walk it off. Update. The Lady Pioneers of Clare lead it 4-3. The bottom of the 4th inning, 2 runners on. Tessa Kelly at the plate with 2 outs. Clare wins that game. They'd be back in action next Wednesday. We will be there for that action. Clare is victorious. Our last softball team left as Shepherd fell to Escanaba earlier today, 9-1. And Beale City girls lost an absolute heartbreaker to Fowler, 11-10, as Fowler walked it off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Shire back out onto the bump. Wyatt Brown, Nate Siler, Brady Davis due up for the Irish here in the bottom of the 11th inning. For Maple City, Glen Lake, just kind of now been relaxing and waiting to come out here and play again. Again, they got done playing. Their game went really quick. It was about 11:30 or so before they got done. The plan for them was to be back out onto the field by 3 o'clock for a state quarterfinal game. Well, here we are. It's 3:17, and nothing is decided yet, but the Irish have got a chance to win it here. This is why you want to be the home team. It's 4-4. Bottom 11. Shire back out onto the mound. First pitch to Wyatt Brown is going to miss low and away. Yeah, my scoreboard is donezo at this point. I don't got 11 innings on there. Not very often you think it's going to go this far, but what a game it's been between the number 1 and number 2 team in the state here in D4. 31-6, Sacred Heart Academy, 31-1, Portland St. Pat's. That one's off the glove of the pitcher, still fielded at second base by Simon, in time to first for the out. What a play from Braden Simon. That was tough as it came off the glove of Shire on the mound. Simon was able to field it cleanly and get the out. 4-4. Bottom 11. At the dish is Siler. Siler on the year has had a couple home runs, so he does have the power. He does have the pop. Send one deep here. Again, maybe not out at Central Michigan's ball field, but to the gap, try and maybe get a double or a triple here. He's going to take a first pitch strike. Shire winds and deals. That's also going to be over for strike 2. So Siler quickly down in the count now, 0-2. See how the sophomore reacts here as he has to shorten up the swing a little bit. Comes the pitch. He's going to reach out, just try and stay alive. It's going to be down the first baseline into foul territory, and it will be caught down the first baseline by Tyler Thalen. Thalen's had a couple nice plays over there at first, in particular robbing Wiggins of what could have been an extra base hit. Brady Davis now stepping up to the plate. Last time Davis was up, he doubled, but was stranded in the 9th. Four, bottom 11. St. Pat's, the Irish. Regional Championship Baseball. Stepping off the mound is Shire. Davis will step out, step back in, batting from the left side. He's going to swing at the first pitch. He's going to send it high out to center field. Gathering underneath it and making the catch is going to be Brady Leonard. Can you believe it? We are headed to inning number 12 with Portland St. Pat's and Sacred Heart Academy. Starting to reach that time of day. I think Kyle Schaefer even has to head on out of here. I don't know if he's got work or other plans later today, but this is getting to the point of the game where, holy cow, you start to look, and it's getting close to dinner time now. And this game started at 12:30, ladies and gentlemen. Brady Davis will head back out on the mound for Sacred Heart Academy. Behind the plate, or Brady Davis on the mound. Behind the plate, Wyatt Brown. At first base, Nate Siler. At second, Jason Bogue. At third, Ryan Wiggins. At short, Grady Pieratt. Out in left field, it's Mr. Luke Hacker. In center field, it's the speedy Noah Zion. Out in right field, it's Tegan Duffy. Think about that. Zaid Batchelder, baller of the game. Whoo, boy. Davis and Siler have combined to just be unreal, to only give up 4 hits to this Portland St. Pat's team through 11 innings. But Grady Pieratt had that 3-run in the park home run back in the second inning. He then singled in the 5th, was thrown out trying to take second base. And since then, it's been 2 intentional walks to the senior shortstop. Think about that. Zaid Batchelder, baller of the game, brought to you by Weefrich Financial, the Gates Drilling and Service, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply drill of the game, Weber Brothers Sawmill timber of the game. Mr. Grady Pieratt so far has got his name kind of stamped in there. But if you're Sacred Heart Academy, you're hoping somebody else is the MVP of this game, because that means they probably be able to win it here in the 12th inning. And we're tied at 4. Love going out. Barberry Law, Gates Drilling and Service, Bill's Custom Fab, The Bird All-American Grill, Clark Modular Homes, Weefrich Financial, Woods Household Appliance, J&J Auto, Mount Pleasant Heating and AC, Konowinski Construction, Weber Brothers Sawmill, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, E&S Graphics, along with G&S Mechanical. This might be the most difficult inning that Mr. Davis has had to face, as it's the top of the order in a row. Shire, Thalen, Leonard. We're in the 12th. We're tied at 4. A regional championship is on the line. Brady Davis came in this game in the 7th inning for Sacred Heart Academy. First pitch is going to be over for a strike. So consider this. He came in the 7th inning, and Davis has thrown 89 pitches. Just think about that for a second. That's how long this game has been. Showing bunt is Shire. He pulls it back because that one kind of sails a little bit on Davis. 1-1 the count. Nobody out here. Top of the 12th inning. Leadoff hitter at the plate is Shire for Portland St. Pat's. This will be pitch 91 from Brady Davis. No, he didn't start this game. He came in the 7th inning. That one's going to be fouled back by Shire. 1-2. Shire, a couple waves of the bat. Kind of looks down the first baseline. Kind of wipes his hands on his white pants there. He wants a new baseball. He'll get one. Brown sends it back out to him. Shire will step back in. 1-2 the count. And this could be the last inning for Davis out there. Shire's probably also getting up there on the pitch count, too. And if you're Maple City Glen Lake, more arms that get used, the better chance that you have. Strike three, swinging through it is Shire. Second time Davis has got him to go down on strikes and bring up Charlie Thalen. Thalen on the day is 1 for 5. And again, I won't be able to give you much more after that because I don't have the 11th, 12th inning on here for Portland St. Pat's. But the only hit of the game is an RBI triple. He's also walked once as well. Thalen's going to swing at the first pitch. It's going to get fouled back. Davis ready with the 0-1. Wines deals. They're going to say that's going to miss. Davis wears 11. 1-1 the count, 1 out. Whole lot of ones up there. Davis winds and deals. This one's going to be sent for a hit over shortstop. Out to left field. Hacker's able to field it cleanly, but a 1-out single here for Portland St. Pat's. That'll bring up Brady Leonard. Leonard, the last time he was up, ultimately went down on strikes, but it was on like pitch 10 or 11 of the at-bat. 1-out run around for Portland St. Pat's. Siler will hold him on at first base. Leonard digs in on the right side. Checked runner, back easily. At first base is Charlie Thalen. 4-4. Nobody scored since the 7th inning when both teams put up 1 run after it was tied at 3 going into the 7th. First one's going to miss from Davis. Brown heads back behind the plate. Here comes the pitch. They show bunt, pulling it back. It'll be ball 2, though. Howe is on deck. Davis checks the runner. Here comes a 2-0. That'll be right down Broadway for strike 1. 1 out. Top of inning number 12. Yes, that's right. Inning 12. Runner at first base for Portland St. Pat's. 1 out. Showing bunt once again at the plate is Leonard. He's going to foul it to the backstop. That'll run the count to 2-2 and take the bunt out of play for Leonard. On deck is the cleanup hitter, Logan Howe. He singled his last time up before he was stranded in the 10th. Davis checks that runner at first. There goes the runner. Brown with a throw out to second. It won't be in time. A nice job by Pieratt keeping it in the infield. If he doesn't do that, Thalen is maybe able to take third base. But now a full count, 3-2. And this could be Davis's last batter as well. So think about that. You've had 2 guys reach the 90s, the 100s here with the pitch count for Sacred Heart. Probably would see Bogue, Wiggins, or Zion come into the game for the Irish. Runner at second base. Full count to the cleanup hitter at the plate for Portland St. Pat's. We're tied at 4 in the top of the 12th inning. Or pardon me, it's the number 3 hitter, Leonard, still at the plate with a full count. How the cleanup hitter is on deck. Full count. The way the strike zone has been, Davis has got to throw one essentially down the middle here, maybe give Leonard something to hit. He will rope it up the middle for a base hit. Zion's playing shallow. The throw comes in. It's a good throw. They will hold the runner at third. What a play from Noah Zion in the outfield. But now that brings up the cleanup hitter for Portland St. Pat's with the go-ahead run at third base and just 1 out. So a high fly ball here for Portland St. Pat's could score the go-ahead run. Howe doesn't have to get on base here. Also a pass ball could score the go-ahead run as well. And this will be the last batter that Brady Davis will be able to face. Another update coming from softball action. Regional championship game. The Lady Pioneers of Clare lead it 4-3, heading to the top of the 6th inning. Coach Pieratt on the mound, talking to his team, making sure everybody knows what the scenario is here. And this is where you got to watch out for the old Brad Ancliffe play here, where you try and send that runner going from first and second. You maybe have him fall down, but it doesn't matter if he gets tagged out if that runner can come in from third. We're in the top of the 12th inning. Portland St. Pat's leads it, is tied 4-4, top 12. But Portland St. Pat's with the biggest threat we've seen for either team in extra innings, with runners at the corners, the cleanup hitter at the plate, and just one out. You'd love to get a double play ball here, hit to Grady Pieratt. Probably going to have to play first and third base in. You will have, I believe it's Hacker, then back to the top of the order for Sacred Heart in the bottom of the 12th inning. Here we go. This will be the last batter. That's the one pitch at bat that Davis will face. We're in the top of the 12th inning. It's about that time where something's got to give. Portland St. Pat's has runners on the corners with one out. Your cleanup hitter at the plate. If you're Brady Davis, if there's ever a time for a strikeout, it's right now. Howe steps in. Biggest at bat of this young man's career. Bottom of the 12th inning. Runners at the corners. One out. Brady Davis back on the bump to face his last batter. They show bunt. They get it down right down the first baseline. It will score the go-ahead run. They get the out at first base. And that is just the one pitch at bat that I talked about, which will allow Brady Davis to face another batter. But Portland St. Pat's goes up 5-4 here in the top of the 12th inning. Simon steps up to the plate.
5, Braden Simon.
Two outs now. That run come in from third, but if you're the Irish, you're going to have a chance to answer back here in the bottom of the 12th, but you got to get at least one run now. First pitch is going to be ball one to Simon. Again, it's been a tight strike zone here for everybody in this one. 5-4, St. Pat's with the lead here in the top of the 12th inning. Lefty Davis is going to step off the rubber. This will be his last batter. Portland St. Pat's has somebody reach here. Imagine it's going to be either Bogue, Zion, Pieratt, or Wiggins to come in for Sacred Heart. 5-4 the score. That one's going to be over 1-1 the count. Nobody holding the runner on at second base. Allows Leonard to take a big a lead as he wants to, but right now you know for Sacred Heart, the game is at the plate. With Leonard's speed, he's going to be able to score on a hit to the outfield anyways. There's no point in holding him on. As I say that, they do catch him trying to go, and they're going to get the out. It's going to squirt away over at third base. That was a great slide there. That slide from Leonard really kind of had it slid away there from Wiggins. And now another run is 90 feet away for Portland St. Pat's. Count is 1-1. Davis looks over at third. Davis steps back onto the rubber, ready to go with the 1-1. It's 5-4, top 12. They show bunt. It's going to be a strike as they never pulled it back for Simon. That'll take the bunt out of play here. 1-2 the count. Portland St. Pat's, though, has gone up here in the 12th inning, 5-4, as they've manufactured a run. Simon digs back in. Davis winds and deals. That's just going to miss low. 2-2 the count. Davis steps off. Portland St. Pat's wants another balk, but he obviously stepped off there. Again, you go back to that play in the 7th inning. Tough call going against Sacred Heart as the balk run came in. As Wyatt Brown stepped away from home plate. Swing and a miss. That'll be strike 3. Brown gets the tag as well. And that will be the third and final out. But Portland St. Pat's gets a run across in the top of the 12th. That will be Brady Davis's last batter he can face as well. So if the Irish do tie it up, we will have to see another pitcher out here in this game. What an epic game we have had between the number 1 and number 2 team in the state, Portland St. Pat's and Sacred Heart Academy. Jackson Verlegger will be pinch hitting for the Irish to start off the bottom of the 12th inning. After him, it's Grady Pieratt. Portland St. Pat's smartly has not pitched to Grady Pieratt since a long, long time ago. Bottom of the 6th inning, 4-3. Clare with the lead after a triple from Pam Allen as well. So you got a runner at third and only one out. But the game right now, here we go. Shire comes back out on the mound. Jackson Verlegger stepping up to the dish for the Irish. On deck, Grady Pieratt.
Now batting, number 19, Jackson Verlegger.
Verlegger stepping up, batting from the right side. Mom, dad, sister cheering away just behind home plate. We're in the bottom of the 12th inning. I'll say that again. We're in the bottom of the 12th inning. Regional Championship Baseball. Sacred Heart Academy. Portland St. Pat's. St. Pat's only has one loss on the year. It's to the Irish. Irish are 31-6 on the year. Already won their first district championship since 2016. Going to win their first regional championship since I didn't even get to ask Earl Hartman before that. In 2016, they lost to Muskegon Catholic Central in the regional final. Looking at scores, trying to gather things before that. It might have been back in 2000 or back in 96 the last time they won it, when they won the state championship. And Allison Brandon does drive in Pam Allen for Clare. They now lead it 5-3. So if Clare hangs on to win, no matter what happens here, we will have a game next Wednesday for you on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. But right now, the Irish looking to stay alive. First pitch is going to be on the inside corner to Jackson Verlegger. Grady Pieratt on deck. Again, if Verlegger gets on, I'll be very surprised if they pitch to Pieratt. Verlegger is going to be fooled on that one. Great breaking ball there from Shire. Count now 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 from Shire. Verlegger is going to ground this one towards short. Not an easy play. The one hopper is gathered by Fears over in time for the out to first base. That'll bring up Grady Pieratt. We'll see if they pitch to him here with the bases empty. I do think they're going to.
Number 1, Grady Pieratt.
And I think they're going to give him first base once again. As I see the pitcher, looks like he's pointing towards first base. Nope, he is going to step into the dish. Here we go. They will throw to Pieratt here in the bottom of the 12th inning. Base is empty, one out. Comes the pitch from Shire. Curveball is going to break back over the zone for strike one. Noah Zion on deck. Pieratt, senior, superstar at the plate. That one's going to actually, doesn't get him in the foot there. It's going to bounce up there 1-1. We're in the bottom of the 12th inning. 5-4, St. Pat's with the lead. Pieratt at the plate. Swings through that one. Great pitch by Shire as he pulled the string on the changeup there. Pieratt steps back out. Steps back in. Here comes the 1-2. It's going to be sent down the third baseline, but foul. Ooh, that would have been extra bases for Pieratt. Oh, and the Clare girls would play Tuesday, not Wednesday. Big shout out to Lisa Ancliffe from Beale City with that love there. It's a tip of the cap to Brad Ancliffe and the Beale City baseball boys and the run they had the last 3 years. Just unbelievable. I believe when I did the numbers, they had outscored opponents 178-19 the last 3 years in the playoffs with a 17-1 record, including two state titles. That one's going to bounce up there, 2-2 now the count. Zion will retrieve the baseball. We're at the game-tying run at the plate. There's one out, bottom of the 12th inning. Here comes the 2-2. Pieratt just gets out of the way of that one, 3-2. If you're Shire, that's the last thing you want to do is put on Grady Pieratt in this situation. He swings at this one. It's roped down the right field line. Just foul. The second swing that Pieratt had this at bat that if it stayed fair would have been extra bases for the senior superstar. It's 5-4. We're in the bottom of the 12th inning. The Irish are down to their final 2 outs. Pieratt at the plate. Zion on deck. And end of the 6th inning, Clare leads at 5-3. 3 outs, and they will win a regional championship. There is ball 4 for Grady Pieratt. The game-tying run is on here in the bottom of the 12th inning. Just 1 out as Noah Zion steps to the plate. Zion digs in on the right side. Shire, I think, wants a new baseball. He'll get it. What a classic this game has been. It's 5-4. We're in the bottom of the 12th inning. The all-time runs leader is the game-tying run at first base for Sacred Heart Academy. Zion swings at the first pitch. He's going to pop it up out of play just over my broadcast position. Almost a sweet one-hander behind me. Zion steps back in, just missing that one. Pieratt goes for second. There's the throw out as they try and get him. It's down there. He's safe. Even with the throw out, they couldn't mow him down. What a steal there from Pieratt. Now the game-tying run could score with a base hit here from Noah Zion. Ryan Wiggins on deck for Sacred Heart. Momentum starting to shift back towards the Irish wearing the red and green. Zion steps back in. And the umpires getting together right now, making sure they are on the same page. And it's count 1-1. Want to make sure they were right. A lot of the Sacred Heart folks wanted a 2-0 count. Zion digs back in. And there was a pitch out, the last play, and they're saying it's 0-1. Really, really strange situation here. We'll see if that changes anything. That one will miss. Count 1-1. It should be 2-1. Oh, they said the previous pitch was a balk, so all right, that is squared away. This is why Pieratt was able to take second. He dances and dances again. That one's going to miss. 2-1 now the count for Noah Zion. Again, the game-tying run is at second base for Sacred Heart Academy. Shire throws it back to second. Just kind of stepping off there. 2-1 the count. Zion at the dish. At second is Grady Pieratt. The game-tying run here in the bottom of the 12th inning. Yes, that is right. We're in the 12th inning. Pieratt fakes like he's going to go. That one's going to be on the outside corner. 2-2. Zion awaits the 2-2. Again, Pieratt continues to dance at second base, just trying to make things tough for Shire as he checks that runner. He looks back there. He just sees that red, that white, that flashing back and forth. Great job by Grady Pieratt to make things difficult. This one's going to be hit towards first. It'll be an easy play over to second base, but that does move the runner up to 90 feet. The Irish down to their final out. The game-tying run, 90 feet away at third base. A pass ball here could score Pieratt. 2 outs, bottom of the 12th inning. Ryan Wiggins at the plate. Runner at third base is the game-tying run. Shire on the mound for Portland St. Pat's, hoping to close it out. The number 1, number 2 team in the state. It's been as good as advertised, better than advertised, as we're here in the bottom of the 12th inning. And it's 5-4. Pieratt again dances, dances, dances. A wonderful job keeping that one in front of him by Charlie Thalen. 1-0 the count. It's Wiggins, then Bogue. 2 outs here. Bottom of the 12th. Runner at third base. Wiggins is going to take that one. It's over for a strike. 1-1 the count. 5-4, Portland St. Pat's with the lead. The Irish down to their final out, but the game-tying run is at third base. Pieratt dances. Here comes the pitch. Another great job by Thalen, keeping it in front of him. 2-1. You now do have that righty pitcher for Portland St. Pat, so Grady Pieratt's right in front of him at third base when he kind of dances back and forth. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be hit towards the pitcher's mound. What a play! What a play on the mound by Shire. Over to first in time, and that will do it. 5-4. Portland St. Pat's outlast Beale City in the game of the year here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Wow, what a battle. And we will come back with our Bird All-American Grill post-game show. Hopefully the Lady Pioneers of Clare can hang on for a victory. So we've got some games coming up next week. But Portland St. Pat's outlast Sacred Heart Academy 5-4 in 12 innings. A classic of a game here at Tennyson Stadium. We'll be back with our Bird All-American Grill post-game show right after this here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
GNS Mechanical in Wademan offers service and installation on everything for your home and business. From a simple filter replacement to furnace, central air service, and install, geothermal, and walk-in coolers and freezers. If you have a need, GNS Mechanical has a solution. Learn more at gnsmechanical.com or call 989-644-2106.
Pure sportsmanship is the most important thing in high school sports. When it comes to your home or business, Pure Plumbing just might be the most important thing. If your plumbing isn't Pure, don't worry, no one needs to see the other angle. For Pure Plumbing, call 989-644-8928 or visit mipureplumbing.com. Mumford Oil and Gas Supply is your one-stop shop for top quality products and procurement in the Michigan oil and gas industry. With over 45 years of experience and a strong commitment to customer satisfaction, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply delivers the best solutions for your oil and gas production, drilling, and service needs. If you need it, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply can get it. Visit them on Fancher Day or give them a call at 989-317-8582.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Oh, so close. 5-4. Sacred Heart Academy falls to Portland St. Pat's. You go back to that seventh inning, I think about that balk call. I think about how close to Grady Pieratt was from scoring the walk-off run in the seventh. Just a game of epic proportions here today with Portland St. Pat's and Sacred Heart Academy. Now watching on the game changer, Midland Bullitt Creek and the Clare Pioneers. Bullitt Creek is down to their final out. Clare leads at 5-3. Again, if Clare wins that game, they'll be in action Tuesday. Wherever they are, we will be there for that game, as the Lady Pioneers are now the last Mid-Michigan team left for baseball, softball action here in the Mid-Michigan area. Zaid Batchelder, baller of the game, is going to go to the combination of Brady Davis and Nate Siler for their unbelievable performance, only giving up 5 runs through 12 innings to the number 1 team in the state. But our Weber Brothers Sawmill, timber of the game, Gates Drilling and Service, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply drill of the game, as well as our Bill's Custom Fab fabrication of the game, goes to Mr. Grady Pieratt with his 3-run in the park home run to tie things up at 3 all the way back in the 3rd inning. And it's just crazy to look up at that scoreboard and see that just those 2 numbers up there for the 1st and 2nd inning. We went 12. It was an absolute classic, but Portland St. Pat's outlast Sacred Heart Academy 5-4. The game playing in a the song playing in a background right now. Brenton Scobie, Jason McIntyre, and the Oiler crew who's running things here today is 5 more minutes. And that's kind of how I feel about this game. If it just went 5 more minutes, Sacred Heart Academy might have been able to come out of here victorious. But what a game this was. And we're going to stay on the air. It's top of the 7th inning. 2 outs. Runners on 1st and 2nd for Midland Bullitt Creek against the Clare Pioneers. In the circle for the Pioneers is Kylie Wyman as she looks to get the final out for the Lady Pioneers. Again, going back earlier today, more softball updates. Shepherd fell to Escanaba 9-1. Fowler walked it off in the bottom of the 7th inning versus Beale City 11-10. And the Lady Pioneers do win the district championship 5-3 over Midland Bullock Creek, and so they will be moving on to the state quarterfinals next Wednesday. As I mentioned, I will be there for the game. I'm going to pull up the MHSAA softball page right now, kind of let you know where exactly I will be for that game as I pull up the PDF brackets here. But big congratulations to those Clare Pioneer girls as they have won the regional championship in Houghton Lake. The quarterfinal will be all the way up at Sheboygan, as it could be Gladstone, Grayling, Kingsley, or Negaunee. But you boys ready for that trip up there if we got to Sheboygan for the number 1 team in the state, D3 softball. The Lady Pioneers of Clare, I believe, are now 37-2 on the year. But what a game. What a year for Sacred Heart Academy. They fall 5-4 in the 12th inning to Portland St. Pat's. Chris Spockman signing off until next Tuesday when it will be game number 100 of the year. State quarterfinals with the Clare Pioneers as they look to move on to the state final. They made it to the state semis last year. Looking to get back to that same spot with Coach Kelly and the crew. We'll see if we can catch up with him before that action on Tuesday for a podcast. But what a year for the Sacred Heart Academy boys. They fall 5-4 to Portland St. Pat's, who avenges their only loss of the year as well. Chris Spockman signing off until Tuesday. We'll be with the regional champion Clare Pioneers softball team as they go for a quarterfinal win to move on to East Lansing. Chris Spockman signing off on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Big shout to the Irish boys on a great season.